Welcome back to Blacklisted News and Reviews, your source for biased media. I'm Goma.
I'm Blacky.
And I'm Serenity.
Alright, our first article. Baby, grandmother, killed in Flint drive-by. Identified as police investigate possible link to other homicides. What a fucking title. Baby, grandmother, killed in Flint drive-by, identified as police investigate. What a more confusing... Is there a more confusing fucking string of words?
Baby, grandmother.
Baby, grandmother. Killed in the drive-by, identified as they investigate.
Investigate possible...
Writing at its best, people.
So, in Flint, Michigan, police are investigating the possibility... Whatever he just said. In Flint, Michigan, police are investigating the possibility that 3 shootings on Saturday, in Flint, of course, which left 4 people dead, may be connected. Belinda Hart, 45, and her 10-month-old grandson, Romello Jones, Jr., were shot while sleeping in their home Saturday on December 26th. Flint Police Chief Terrence Green told MLive, the Flint Journal. They were killed during a drive-by shooting at a home in the 600 block of East Pulaski Avenue. Your quality is god-awful. What are you trying to say?
Romello Jones.
He was named Romello Jones.
He's named Romello. He deserves to die. He deserves to die.
What happened to your audio, dude?
We have enough theater kids. The 1-2s, man. That's what's happened.
We tested this before, and now you're inside of a fucking fishbowl.
Just go with it.
We're just going with it.
No one needs to hear what has to say.
Hart was found deceased at the scene, and Tuesday would have been her 46th birthday. 46-year-old grandmother. Interesting.
Wait, 46-year-old grandmother?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I mean, to be fair, her grandson was only 10 months old.
Yeah, but like, okay, so she would have had, like, how old is her fucking daughter?
I mean,
how old was her daughter? No, wait.
Her daughter's probably like 28, or like at least in her like mid-20s.
So if this is a drive-by, and they were shot sitting in their home, so a car just comes rolling up, guns fire at the house, and these 2 get hit in their sleep and die.
Yep. I don't know exactly where the bedroom is situated, but I would prefer to have my bedroom away from, the location of possible drive-bys.
The world is a crazy place ever since we started burning our own cities. Like, they've been throwing Molotovs into just residential homes, too.
Mad shit.
Keep people on their toes.
Like, I used to live, like, right up at the front of my house, and this shit just reminds me of why I hated that.
Every day, you could have died.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh my fucking god, these 2 people, they just went to sleep in their home. I mean, I would hope there was some reason for this drive-by. It wasn't just a random act of violence. But if it wasn't...
It's a drive-by, which means they probably weren't even targeting them. They were targeting someone else, and they just happened to hit them as they were driving by.
You might think that, but, like, I've seen drive-bys where they just shoot up a house. Like, they don't even aim for people, they just shoot the house.
Like it says right here, when the officers arrived, they found this, Crenton? What type of a
His name is spectacular. Curdetrius Keaton Williams.
Yeah, they found him dead outside, so they were probably just trying to kill him. The other 2 were just collateral and bonuses.
The kid didn't even die immediately. He got transported to a medical center in critical condition and taken into surgery. They couldn't save him, unfortunately.
I mean, a 10-month-year-old. There's not a lot there to
10-month-year-old.
A 10-month-old. There's not a lot there to miss, and not a lot there to fix.
That's fair.
That's a hard target.
They also found Naomi Anthony, pronounced dead at the scene.
No, not Naomi.
Naomi's gone.
This is related to
Loaded.
A woman found shot to death in field near Flint Park. This is related to that. So apparently, like, whoever these shooters are, like, they're just like killing
They're
random
just
people.
going around having a time of it, having a
They were
ball.
having a real joyride over there, weren't they?
The Porter Street
Apparently.
has pushed homicide total to 60 for the year, up from
Wow.
43 in 2019.
Having a great time, Flint.
Having a great time, man.
Really hitting
This
the
This is what happens when your drinking water's no good.
They had too much fucking eggnog.
need to
Too much fucking eggnog. Yeah. I'm sure that's the reason they decided to go kill 4 people. All like separately.
I would too. Eggnog is fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
I don't really see the appeal of eggnog either.
Eggnog is just. My brother loves
Eggnog is like fruitcakes. It's just one of those things you eat for the holidays and don't ever do anything.
I don't
with it
even
again.
touch fucking fruitcakes.
Oh no! I just realized these guys. They've done a drive-by shooting.
Right.
They managed to somehow hit two fucking people who were hidden in one house, like in a house behind walls.
You mean for one?
They hit Keaton Williams once. He was only hit by one bullet.
He's been shot at least one time.
I gotta say their aim not so great.
What do you mean not so great? What the fuck are you talking about? It's spectacular. Their aim is absolutely
No, that was
beautiful. It's magnificent.
That
They
was-
killed these
that
2
was
people
an
inside their
accident.
house, sleeping, with no fucking visual on them, and they killed this one guy, just 1 bullet. This is some skill right here.
look. They had the lucky perk.
Some ball hack.
Some fucking...
They
They
had
got
the
wall hacks
lucky
on.
perk on.
And then only once. They killed two people.
Fuck it.
They killed more people on accident than on purpose.
That's a good point. That's a pretty
Damn,
good
Morty.
point.
God.
Their KD's going up really well.
Any last statements before we move on?
What are they gonna do with their kill streak? The UAV, you think?
Nah, you gotta. They've got 4 kills already, and you know the Flint police.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a lot of faith in them. I think they're gonna go. I think they know the right play is to go with the AC 130 because you really want to push them.
Yeah. It's a pretty good point. Let's just hope they get stopped before they get the nuke, because this could spiral out of control.
I don't know if Flint can handle any more radiation in their water.
I think if I know this is in Flint, but if they could burn that nuke on Detroit,
But like, I think
really could.
I think really if they radiate the water any further, it'll just end up being cleaner than it was.
I mean, like, let's be honest. You're expecting them to manage. You're expecting them to manage to get a 25 kill streak. Come on.
That's been done before.
Man.
Already, they kill people on accident more. This is. I think they can make it. I think they can run the numbers.
We'll be keeping our eye on Flint for any kill streaks.
Be on the lookout. Be on the
No,
lookout.
if anybody
All
does an airborne on Flint, just you now know who's the cause.
All right. I think we've
All right,
milked that
moving
long
on.
enough.
Police fatally shoot machete-wielding man who hacked at woman, sliced her dog on Brooklyn Street.
This man out here making Chinese food. Come on.
Oh,
Fuck this person for attacking the dog. That's all I have to say on this one.
I don't think he intended to attack the dog. I think he was going for the woman, and the dog was just collateral.
People are terrible.
why do people keep accidentally killing things?
I mean, because once you go for the first kill, the second kill just sort of happens. You know, it's sort of a necessity.
I just want to take a look at this picture. Like, look at this crime scene. There's 2 shoes just on the ground. What happened there?
They got fucking hacked off. What do you mean? What happened there?
Did he like hack off her feet, or like did he just hack her so hard her shoes flew off?
Did the dog?
They're the dog shoes.
And the dog had shoes. That's a big dog.
I don't know. I don't see a picture of the dog yet.
He had a thing for feet. He wanted to
focus on a 50-year-old woman, older than our grandma from the last story, walking her pit bull. Now that's some ball.
You know what? That reminds me of the last time a dude came over and slapped a chick who was walking a pig bull.
Yeah, he just did it a bit more violently.
Deeply in both hands. Whose shoes are those then? And sliced the dog's left shoulder. Wait, the person reporting is named Holmes?
Wait, them dogs have shoulders?
Yeah.
Hey, hang on. Let's back it up. Let's back it up first off. This reminds me of that one article we covered where this dude came up and slapped the Asian chick walking her pit bull because she didn't have a mask on.
The dog is...
One at a time, boys.
Hear this. He was acting erratic, laying on the ground, damaging parked vehicles, attempting to enter one caller's front yard, and chasing people in the area with a machete. He was just fucking on the ground, fucking kicking and slashing at cars.
No, see how there's a comma there? See how there's a comma there indicating that's one of the things he did? You prefer to just think he's crawling around on his fucking on his arms? How the fuck is he hacking her hands from the ground? What sort of reach does this man have?
He had long arms.
Shoes make sense. Shoes make sense.
Also, wait, he hit her fucking head. He deeply cutting her head.
This thing was only 18. What the fuck?
Also, yes, fucking Holmes is reporting on this, as you said. Juanita Holmes.
So the dog's okay. The dog is in stable condition. And...
But the shoes, like the feet being hacked off, now makes sense. If you
hold on,
what?
let me find this.
The fucking boots being cut off now makes sense. He was on the ground. He could only tell his legs.
It's the dumbest shit.
I completely skipped over this woman being in good health and just saw the dog was okay.
Wait, is she also fine? You know, it would help if we had let Blacky actually read the fucking article.
Oh, you all just started skipping past.
Why don't you go ahead and read it out for us?
I don't know if I want to anymore. Fuck
well,
you
well,
guys.
it's your job.
Police fatally shot a machete-wielding maniac on Brooklyn... What is this wetness on my pants? On Brooklyn Street after he hacked a woman and her dog Tuesday night, cops said.
What is this wetness on my pants?
Discovering the cops in Europe. I really hope it's good.
You have a restroom, don't you?
I just went to the restroom.
I guess you missed. What the fuck?
Look, my aim can't be as godly as those other guys.
Use a sock.
I don't have wall hacks like those guys.
Why is your toilet behind the wall? Are you pissing through a fucking glory hole? What's happening?
I mean, if there's no challenge, there's no reward.
Alright. I think, fuck this article.
Oh god, we've gone completely off the rail on this article.
Next one.
Move on to the next.
Oh god.
Morty, you
fucking
the next.
Okay. New Lincoln Project ad shows border wall built from tombstones of COVID-19 victims.
I mean, that's one way to use them.
The anti-Trump GOP group, the Lincoln Project, has released an ad that puts blame on President Trump for the United States' high COVID fatality rate, using his desired border wall as a visual.
That's interesting. I mean, wouldn't his border wall have decreased the rate of COVID?
I don't know.
I don't know.
They made a wall made out of coffins, and like basically this said this is
Tombstones.
Yeah, so the idea is they're blaming Trump for the COVID fatality rate, and honestly, I go either way on this. Like, I can see what they mean. Like, if we look at the other countries and like Trump's response to COVID, you could make some arguments here that it could have been handled better. I think this is confusing because of their choice to use the wall as an example.
Yeah, the wall has really nothing to do with this at all.
Like, I guess maybe if he had people working on the wall whilst it was COVID and people were getting really sick from this somehow, just spreading it wildly by building a wall. But I don't think that's what they're implying here. I think they're just implying that this is a symbol of what Trump wanted to do with his office. Let's turn it into a
also, like, why are we, like, sure, blame Trump for, like, not being as professional as he could have been, but fucking blame the actual people. People are getting themselves killed. Don't fucking blame the president for you making your fucking poor decisions.
Yeah.
Hang on. I want to
Go ahead.
hang on. I want to bring it back for a second. The first sentence right there, anti-Trump GOP. That's a bit deranged to be like anti one person. I would understand it was like anti-Republican or some shit, but anti-Trump in general. That's a little deranged, my sir. That's like saying that I'm anti fucking Ellen Page or some shit.
It
Like,
makes perfect sense to me.
how can you be anti one
It
person?
makes perfect sense to me. I'm pretty anti-Mort most days.
Yeah, you got it.
When I look at the
Well, you know, when it comes to Morty, I'm more anti-Algerian.
Yes, we can hear you, Mort. You just have the fucking sound quality of a literal fishbowl. But you know what's more deranged, though? What's more deranged is this tweet here where they say 330,000 dead and counting because of the Trump virus. Trump virus.
That's
really?
a bit much.
Really? No.
You can, to a degree, say some of the policies weren't as great as they could have been. But, like, I love how these people want to paint it as if Trump is the only reason people died. There was nothing else that could have been done. We definitely didn't have
As
a bunch
if
of
Trump fucking introduced this virus. Like, he was like, yep, here you go, COVID.
virus. It's not like a bunch of riots during the middle of what was supposed to be like a quarantine. That
Exactly.
certainly didn't contribute to that number at all. We didn't have a bunch of people refusing to wear masks. We didn't have a bunch of people blaming fucking, what was it, 5G towers, 4G, whatever. The fucking
5G towers cause autism.
No, they said 5G towers. Okay, so first off, they said the 5G towers caused autism, and then they changed it. The 5G towers caused COVID. Somehow the fucking 5G towers was creating a virus.
You expect them to be fucking consistent? Hello?
And you know, I read that like they started burning 5G towers, but because they're all fucking idiots, they just ended up burning like towers that were completely unrelated to 5G. This is like started burning.
What really? They've released. They've just recently, at least I think so, released. I believe it was a vaccine or something for the virus, and then, like, immediately my thought just goes to, what about anti-vaxxers? I just wonder if
you would be surprised the amount of people who think that this vaccine is injecting COVID into them when it's not.
There are people who are believe.
I watched the clip of them quote unquote giving the vaccine, the clip where they showed it. First of all, that needle was still had the cap on, and second, the nurse who quote unquote took the vaccine passed out a couple minutes later.
But she didn't even get the vaccine. Then was she just fucking?
I don't know what.
It's like a negative placebo
effect. I don't know.
What a world.
I don't have
to be clear, isn't a vaccine just dead versions of the virus? So,
But
I mean,
but it's
That's what
not.
it's supposed
See,
to be.
that's how a lot of older vaccines work. In this case, it's not even the COVID. You're just getting mRNA that is going to help give your cells instructions on how to build defense towards this virus. So you're not even getting the virus. There's not even a slim chance that this could infect you with COVID, because you're not getting any of it.
Look,
I mean, I don't see that.
People actually believe that once they take the vaccine, they just get brainwashed to fucking become
they
Russian
put
people.
the nano machines in my vaccine. Now they're tracking me. It's such a shame. It's not like they were tracking me before already through my phone usage.
I want to pull the conversation back a bit. So first of all, let's talk about the two-faced response to everything that Trump has done during this pandemic. First, he's being racist to the Chinese for cutting off flights to China and shit, for trying to contain this shit. And then they go a couple months later, oh, you weren't strict enough. This is why so many people have died.
Mm-hmm.
It is very strange. There's only so much. I want to clarify. There's only so much a president can do. Most, a lot of the power lies in not the president. He can only if the people in power don't make efforts to do this, and they just blame him for it.
I also want to point out the fact that in America we have a little something called states, and the states can govern each other themselves to a certain degree. So it was mostly the governors and the mayors and shit not enforcing the lockdown.
Most definitely.
And
there's going to be a curfew, but actually the curfew isn't actually real. No one's going to actually get punished for being out after curfew.
Let's not enforce this curfew. And also, let's have all these people who are rioting and shit just group up together, because social distancing is only selective.
People will do anything possible to shift blame onto someone else.
Seriously, I want to point out watching the riots, and my first thought was, if you've ever played that bacteria building game, like the strategy game, and they have that national kissing day, it's literally what I was thinking of. Where these
you're talking about pandemic.
These fuckers are literally sleeping on top of each other in some cases in the middle of these riots that are going on for multiple days straight.
Go ahead, Mark.
Go ahead.
It's like those people who willingly get themselves infected with fucking HIV.
Oh my god! Let's not even talk about those people, if they can be called that.
I love this last bit of the article. On Tuesday, President-elect Joe Biden announced he would be expanding his COVID-19 response team and criticized Trump for his administration for a delayed vaccine rollout. Let's go back to the debate real quick, where Joe Biden was...
the delayed vaccine rollout, where people are complaining that it's coming too quick. Which one is it? Which one fucking is it? Is it the vaccine is too fast? Is it the vaccine is too slow? Is it he's not doing enough? Is it he's doing too much? Fucking, which one is it?
Hey, hang on. Let's go back to the presidential debate where Biden was accosting Trump for the vaccine probably not going to come out all that soon. And then when it does come out, he's not doing it fast enough.
I don't know.
I'm just saying, if you're going to be a two-faced piece of shit, don't fucking cost someone. Don't throw stones in glass houses, motherfucker.
I don't even know why people are worried about vaccines, at all. You're not getting your vaccine till, months from now. The vaccines are going to healthcare workers. The people who need to actually get the fucking vaccine. Then it's going to go to the elderly, and then it's going to go to people who are immunocompromised, if they can take it. And then, several months from now... then you'll get your fucking vaccine, along with everybody else.
I also want to point out, this is a highly infectious virus, but it's not actually as lethal as it could be. The mortality rate amongst normal average-aged people isn't nearly as high as it could be compared to the infection rate.
Yeah, but the issue is like the permanent effects it leaves on your body, even if it doesn't kill you.
Well, yeah.
So just because you survive the COVID doesn't mean you're getting out of it scot-free.
Yeah, I mean, Blacky,
That's true. That's true. But I'm just saying they keep on bringing up this huge death toll. It's like, first of all, half of that
330,000 is a lot, but there are 330 million people. Like,
and none of this would have happened if some chinks in China had have eaten a bat soup.
Had eaten a bat soup and then taken it to a secret government lab where they developed that bat soup into a virus.
So, for reference, just as a comparison, around 655,000 Americans die from heart disease each year. That's about 1 in 4.
Because Trump isn't doing enough, Mike. He's really just not doing enough to make sure people don't die from heart disease.
That's according to the CDC's main website. 600,000, 6,500,000 deaths. That's double COVID in one of the worst outbreaks and quarantines we've had to have. It's still not even.
Mm-hmm. So how do you think Trump could do better?
Honestly, how I think our entire government could have done better is just not existed.
Oof, that's a spicy take.
I honestly think at this point, anarchy might have been better.
Damn.
Because people would have self-regulated way better than if we told people to stay indoors and they didn't, and our government didn't enforce it. Because we told them to do it, they did it. Well, fuck you, I'm going to do it anyways because you told me to. I'm not going to do it now. Literally, these people just come out of the woodworks. You tell them to do something, and they're like, fuck you, it's a conspiracy theory.
Sheep.
Let
me get my sources from Facebook real quick.
I want to point out, I think cancer has killed more people this year than COVID has in the United States.
Probably.
But the issue
is a pretty broad term, but yeah, probably.
Hell, I think suicide is pretty high up there in the death toll this year over.
Not enough people are killing
all
themselves.
those shameful.
Looking at the news,
we can't socialize.
Maybe if all these rioters had just killed themselves instead of spreading the disease.
Give them more things to blame on Trump, why don't you?
Let's move on.
They just start lighting themselves on fire, like the monks in the Vietnamese War. Just fucking hell.
The scorched earth policy.
All right, Mike, you're next.
Very topical.
So we're doing the Native American men, right? So.
Yeah, it's just there's not much to the article. There's just the video.
This is the setup for the fucking 20 other articles that are in here about this same thing.
We'll get to it later, but I just want to preview it.
I see the video. I'm going to read the actual article, though.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Native American man tased by park ranger says he was off trail to maintain social distance. A Native American man says he was shot with a taser by a park ranger on Sunday after walking off a trail to maintain social distancing.
Where are you reading this? This isn't the Fox one.
And Marine veteran posted a video of the incident.
He's like 30 fucking articles ahead, isn't he?
While he was hiking at the Petroglyph National Monument in Albuquerque, New Mexico, on his.
All right, we're doing this now then.
I guess we're doing this now then.
Am I off on the wrong page?
You're reading the Newsweek one, right?
I'm just reading the best article there was. There was a bunch of stories.
He said, "Fuck your list." He said, "I'm gonna pick the best one."
Okay, we're gonna move the list around a bit. We're gonna cover this now then.
We're gonna cover this now then.
Fuck your list. Fuck these short ass articles that give me nothing. Anyways, you know what? Fuck it. Good enough.
Here you will see a white man abuse his power. Both men pulled tasers on me after the first one couldn't keep me down. What? Why are you bragging about resisting arrest?
Hey, hang on. I want to point out, I watched that video. I didn't see the other guy tase him.
I don't know, but why are you bragging about resisting
fucking
arrest? Ah, yes, I
It's
resisted the first
sincerely-
taser, so they got 2 tasers. Watch them as these cowards overpower me.
I have nothing but contempt for this person because he's like, I did nothing wrong. I was just going to like respect my ancestors. I was following my beliefs. Because if you read the one of the other articles, I forget which one, he specifically talks about why he was there. He was like, oh, I went off the trail because I wanted to respect social distancing. No problem with that. He makes it sound like they tased him for this. That is not what happened. What actually happened, for context, is he went off the trail. Park ranger saw this. He was like, and supposedly the park ranger starts following him. They start talking about this, and for whatever reason, the park ranger wanted to see his ID. And the man said, I don't think I have to show you my ID, and continued to refuse to show this man his ID. And yeah, eventually it escalates to him getting tased on the ground. Now, I want to be clear. This is a national monument. This is federal land. Even that means federal laws apply. Like, if you're going to go to this degree, at least be honest about it. You didn't walk off the path briefly and then get tased. What happened is you walked off the path, walked back onto the path, refused to cooperate, got tased, and now you're mad because what? You think you have special rights because you're a Native American in a Native American national monument? It's owned by America. The laws say that federal law applies here. He asks for your ID. You give him your ID.
I want to point out he not only didn't give him the ID, he gave them a false name. And then when they asked him to show his hands and shit, he after tasing him, they asked him to hold up his hands for the handcuffs or whatever. I don't know why they have handcuffs at a national park, but
It's a park ranger.
he then proceeds to hold his hands as close to his chest as possible. If you're going to resist, like there's resisting arrest, and then there's being absolutely uncooperative. I at the first, tasing him first, that's a bit extreme. But tasing him after he refused to cooperate, that's a bit, more acceptable.
He was warned he was going to be detained.
This is one of those annoying stories. Like, I understand. Oh, go ahead, Mort.
This is like related to the previous post because I was a bit late in making it. But god damn it! Hold on, I need to copy the image.
Okay.
It's
.txt file. It's amazing.
Wow.
It's cool.
Listen to me in my face.
Spectacular.
What you've been doing,
He's been making shitty memes.
We're not a meme review channel, Morty.
Especially when they're this bad.
You know what? That next time on Blacky's News and Reviews, we review memes together.
Blacklisted meme review.
Anyways,
Yeah,
like,
it's just another case of someone who is just being belligerent for no reason. He moved off the
look at
trail.
me, I'm a-
He says he moved off the trail to let people pass, and then you move back onto the trail. You just continue along your way. Like
I want to point out. Let's go back. He gets off the trail to avoid to social distance to avoid the other people. I want to point out he came to this monument with his dog and his girlfriend, so social distancing already went out the window right there.
that's not a problem. If they live together, that's not really an issue that I think applies here.
But if you're gonna hold up, oh, I'm being a good person, I'm social distancing. Fuck you, you're already with someone.
That's again, if you're
No, I'm not going to let you stand on the high horse there. If you're already,
all he had done was move off the trail, get back on the trail, and cooperated with the park ranger, wouldn't have a problem. If he had gotten tased then, yeah, you might have a point.
But like, why did he walk completely off the trail? Why not just step to the fucking side?
Like, okay, so this is in New Mexico, and I've never been to this national park personally, but maybe the trails are small.
But like, even if you like, I'm sure if the fucking ranger had seen him just walk to the side, like a few feet, and then just stand there, wait for the people to pass, and then get back on the trail, no fucking issue. Instead of just walking off the trail completely, because that's what it sounds like happened here.
Okay. This is fucking New Mexico. It's basically open field. It's not like there's woodlands or shit. He could have just stepped off the trail and then stepped back in. He didn't have to walk completely off it.
To be fair, this is a national park. It's got a lot, it's got petroglyphs on it. I assume the national park ranger saw the man walk off the trail. Maybe he stepped a little bit too far off the trail. Maybe he just didn't realize what was going on. Doesn't matter. And he decided to investigate, and he asked for his ID. And then the main issue here is not that he stepped off the trail. I don't have a problem with that. It makes sense. Social distance, you step a little bit off to the side. It's not like you're going over to touch the petroglyphs or fuck with it. You're just moving to the side. That's not an issue. The issue here is completely refusing to cooperate in even a basic sense with a federal authority figure.
I'll bet you money he did that just to antagonize them.
I feel like that's just something people like to do now. It was like the day after I woke up and half my state belonged to Native American. There was literally this huge war on Twitter between politicians. I forget his name. I forget the politician's name, but he was basically like, I believe it was Trump that commented on the matter, is like, apparently Oklahoma has decided to give half of its land to Native American, yada yada yada. It's not that important, but basically, like a Native American, I believe it was either a lawyer or a politician, commented, yes, this is happening, and we're coming for your land next. And I'm like, I think it was New Jersey, actually. I think it was someone from New Jersey.
Joycey.
Like, I need to look that up so I can give better information, because that was vague.
I think at this point, it's a little late to be fighting back. You're already a dying race.
Now that's the interesting thing, is that people say, like, I swear the rest of the world just gives a shit for what happened to the Native Americans. I don't think they realize the Native Americans got it pretty well in that they survived. Maybe not in the best way possible. In most cases,
the amount of fucking genocide worldwide for land is, a bit understated.
When the nation gets invaded by
I want to point out for our YouTube overlord, we are not condoning genocide.
No, we're not. We're just saying that genocide, outside of America, is very generally ignored.
We were a developing country at the time, right? And you have to understand, look at other developing countries right now. There's a lot of death going on, if you haven't noticed. I'm not saying what happened was right by today's standards. I am not saying that they should die or what we did was right. I am just saying they got out pretty well compared to literally anything else.
Compared to dying, they got out pretty well. Compared to just in general, they could have gotten a lot better off, but they also could have gotten a lot worse.
I just want to say
I'm not going to say a general statement of they got off pretty good when the Trail of Tears still happened.
Oh.
Actually fucking bans our show. This is a pretty big problem that I see in fucking America, where you guys refuse to follow the law.
Huh?
For whatever reason, you guys your people fucking refuse to fucking. Yes. We never had any issues like this. I'm talking about
Listen, man.
So you're saying American tourists in Algeria don't follow the law?
No, he's saying that Americans have an issue with not following our own laws. To be fair,
I don't think anyone goes to Algeria to, travel. That's like going to fucking a cesspit. That's like going to Brazil.
Well, regardless, I don't know the stats on various countries and how many of their citizens oblige the law. I do know that a lot of our citizens have this idea that they think they know what the law is, but they don't. I will agree with that to you more. Like, there are a lot of people who think they know their rights and they just don't. And to be honest, that's not just a problem with our country. There's a problem with most first world nations because we have a group of people who think they are like educated in these matters, but don't know. They just get shit off of Facebook and stuff like that, and it's all bullshit.
Always has
It's
been.
Anyway, moving on.
No, not moving on yet. I want to point out the video that the dude's girlfriend started taking was after he started getting tased. There's no video of before, and that's a little sus to me because, like, if you're gonna be, this man was clearly being uncooperative to begin with. There was clearly some intent to be uncooperative here. I believe that her videotaping after he got tased was malicious intent.
Malicious intent for what?
To cause a scene, to cause this news article to exist, to only give half the story.
I won't deny that. It's awesome.
Maybe he came there just to play the victim. Or maybe he came there expecting that he's gonna
Do park rangers not have body cams?
Again.
I don't think so, no.
I feel like every authority figure should have a fucking body cam.
I
Because
think
it is so
Trump-
fucking
I-
easy for stories to become one-sided.
Literally everything needs to have a body cam now. I want dogs with body cams.
I was surprised park rangers were allowed to have tasers.
If they
You would
put
think you
fucking
would've
body
put them
cams
with,
on
like,
police
bear
dogs,
mace.
though, can you imagine how much fun it would be to just watch a compilation of police dogs just biting people?
Better from a third-person perspective to watch the Borg
I feel like a third of the videos will just be like fucking view of them licking their balls.
I mean, I guess that means there's content for you too. Like the fuck?
Like I would expect if you're gonna like piss off a park ranger, instead of getting tased, they would just whip out bear mace.
I'd approve. But yeah, no.
They should.
I sincerely, I cannot believe this because, like, but it makes sense. Black Lives Matter wanted to get rid of body cams for a while.
You know, because there
Because
can never
they're
be any
almost
right.
always the ones that.
It's
You're
rules
still
for
in the
thee,
big-
not for me.
Hold on, I have a question. Do you is a part of your family Chinese, Serenity?
What?
So I'm just asking.
Oh,
Is a part of your family Chinese?
I was gonna say, if he's Chinese, we're gonna have to talk to HR about removing.
I want to see where Mort goes with this. I want to see where Mort goes with this fucking
ahead.
setup.
You said you wanted like body cams on everybody. It just sounds like something in
Big
China.
Brother? Is that the implication? Is that it's Big Brother? That would be more
You know,
Russia.
I don't think George
But I
Orwell was
guess, yeah,
Chinese.
Doesn't China have like facial recognition shit over there?
I think so, yeah.
I don't know, man. I sort of get where he's going with that, though. Communism, Big Brother, like everyone's watching. But no, that's also the Democrat too.
Fuck
That's
Big Brother.
legit-
I like Big Sister.
Hey.
But no, I sincerely just want body cams on everything so that these lies cannot happen if they're lies. Maybe it's entirely possible. I want to acknowledge the possibility that this park ranger was out of line, like.
But you can't.
But
'cause
it's
there's not even a one side to the story. There's half a side to the story.
No, the guy admits he refused to show his ID. He didn't think he had to. He refuses to cooperate. When he's on the ground getting tased, he's still fighting the cops. And it's just there's not much I can
Ignorance of the
give
law
him.
is not an excuse.
When he admits to every part doing like basically everything wrong. If you're a law-abiding citizen, even if you don't think you need to show your ID, what in God's name possesses people to be like, I don't need to show you my ID? Why? Is it just to get like just to provoke them?
I mean, Serenity, have you
sue them.
seen Sovereign Citizens?
I've seen sovereign citizens, and it's bizarre.
That's basically the same
You
idea.
can't say you're not a citizen and then drive on American roads.
No, like the whole traveling thing. The traveling thing just hurts me. Like oh, I'm traveling. Anyway.
You claim to hate Rome,
Goma,
yet you use Roman aqueducts, Roman roads.
Goma, you want to read the next?
Authorities searching for a suspect in a fatal shooting of a 7-year-old. Authorities are still searching for a suspect in the shooting that killed a 7-year-old while she was Christmas shopping with her family in Atlanta last week. Kennedy Maxey.
What the fuck is it with people?
Oh, go ahead.
What the fuck is it with so many people shooting kids on Christmas?
No clue. Kennedy Maxey and her aunt were in a car driving past the mall in the Buckhead area on December 21st when she was struck by a stray bullet, officials said. Wasn't even aiming for her, apparently. She died 5 days later due to her injuries, police said. The suspect, Daquan Reed, 24, was in the parking lot of Saks Fifth Avenue when he got into an argument with others, according to police. Reed then left the parking lot in a car and allegedly fired shots out the window in a senseless act of rage. Lead investigator Lieutenant Pete Blacky said. He fired 3 shots, one of which struck the car she was in. These people just, like, with this random ass, like, aim.
Sounds like someone forgot to...
To answer your question,
They...
it's post-mature fucking abortion. That's why.
Wait, this sounds like
abortion.
aimbot. He was like, I'm just gonna shoot randomly out the window, and then his arm just automatically levels at this little girl. Like,
Have any of you seen fucking Futurama and the Santa who just kills people?
Yeah.
This is what reminds me of so many kids getting shot on fucking Christmas.
But this guy wasn't even aiming at a kid. He just got into an argument with some people, decided, fuck it, I'm gonna shoot at their general vicinity, and then killed somebody. like what?
not even for people he was shooting in their general vicinity of. How? How?
Like, how do you miss this group of people you're arguing with and then hit this random kid? Come on, mate.
I believe he was right in shooting her. Look at her fucking picture. Jesus fucking Christ, that smile.
She looks fine.
It's not as bad as the other gremlin.
She's not a goblin. She's got that cute fucking, what is that? That's like a unicorn binder, Coach. You can't hate a kid that's got a cute pink unicorn binder.
Or is that like mittens?
I don't know if she's holding mittens or she's got pom-poms or something. I don't know.
Like, I think it's an animal with fur, but I don't know, man.
Another case of black on black crime.
Mm-hmm. You absolutely know if this guy was white, it would have been white man shoots black little girl.
You know damn well that bounty would be 3 times the price if it was a white dude.
National tragedy.
National tragedy. Innocent black little girl shot by this vicious white man.
To be fair, it is on ABC, but still,
you know what? That war is pretty fucking big.
How's he not been caught yet?
You could make a living off of just like
they know who did it. I'm sure they know what car he drives. What the fuck? What happened?
I mean, he has a
probably
gun. Take another.
This is in Atlanta, right? So
yeah.
He probably
they know who the guy is. They have his name. He was previously convicted for forgery. Like they know who the guy is.
Forgery.
It's not an anonymous shooter. They know the guy. They know his name. They assumedly know where he lives.
Like presumably, yeah. I don't know if he's like just ran out of town or something.
Like he's probably just hiding out.
But how did he? Would he even have known that he killed somebody?
Like I imagine.
Probably
like
not.
the situation. He might know. He might not know. He might have gone home, heard like on the news.
Well,
oh shit!
All he knows is that he shot at someone. He doesn't know he killed a kid yet.
That is a good point. He knows he shot not someone, but at someone. So that's good enough reason to hide, right? So
I guess.
Yeah.
Like he's
probably hiding his.
And he probably found out.
Maybe he's using his forgery skills to like make a new ID or something.
They got the wrong man forced to come a fake ID, so that they.
When you find him, you put him in the back of the paddy wagon, and you go through the bumpiest road in the city.
real news story is this guy is actually white.
Blacky, what the fuck? Like, you've talked so many, like, cruel, vicious things before about, like, killing people and, like, shooting the shit out of them, burning them alive, and you're like, put them in the paddy wagon, get them on a bumpy road.
Look, that's just the start of his punishment.
Why not beat the shit out of him? You know police officers beat the shit out of criminals, right?
I know.
Put him on a bumpy road. Ah, dang, that was slightly inconvenient.
Have you ever gone through a bumpy road? It's not comfortable.
We
Get him in a school bus, put him in the back seat, and then just fucking go over a massive bump. He'll go flying.
But I just want to ask something. Are like rewards like giving tips about like criminals like always that high?
Depends on how much demand there is for the criminal.
Yeah, I imagine
like,
it's pretty high because he shot a kid.
Fucking make a
it's a child.
like, you could make a living just fucking tips.
I mean, yeah, but you have to
It's
like
like-
know the fucking tip.
And then if it comes out that you're a notorious tip giver,
You get
snitches get
fucking
stitches.
shot. Why are you laughing? You can't give tips on yourself. You will get caught more.
Tippers get stickers.
Anyways, moving on.
Who's next? Is this one?
No, this one's mine. Inmate who survived Inmate who survived execution attempt dies. COVID suspected.
In New York, 124 estimated
in
inmates died
Ohio-
from coronavirus.
She's reading.
An Ohio death row inmate who survived an attempt to execute him by lethal injection in 2009 died Monday of possible complications of COVID-19. The state prison system.
Wait. Ohio? Ohio?
Yeah, Ohio.
Why is this being reported by NBC New York?
I don't know.
Because they decided it was newsworthy, I guess.
That just made it confusing because I saw NBC
They
New
have
York
nothing-
and I saw the state says 124 inmates. I was like, wow, interesting for New York numbers. But no, it's Ohio?
Yeah, this is Ohio. Anyway,
They had nothing to report on.
Go ahead,
read
Blacky.
the article now.
So the state prison system said at the time of 2019 procedure, condemned prisoner Rommel Broom was only the second inmate nationally to survive an execution after they began in modern times.
Did they just forget to charge, like, the electricity? Like, what happened?
No,
Like,
they do lethal injection. We don't do the electric chair anymore.
Oh. Why not?
Survive
It seemed like it worked
the-
better than the fucking lethal
but, like-
injection.
But like,
Well, because it's inhumane apparently to put scum-sucking fuckers in the electric
But
chair.
then you get motherfuckers like this who have built up such an immunity to fucking shit in their body, probably doing shit tons of drugs, that he just survives a lethal injection.
The thing is I'm amazed. You would do something that would just end a person, right? Like, there are things in this world that can kill like 1,000 elephants or some shit like that. Shit you just have no chance against. And that is pretty humane. So you'd think we'd use that.
but like, so great.
But you see, that might hurt them for like a second or two while they're dying, and that's inhumane.
This dude was 64 years old.
I've got an idea. Firing lines. Those don't fuck up.
This dude was 64. How the fuck did he survive the lethal
Well, he was
injection?
53 at the time, because this is 2009.
That's still fairly old, dude.
That's not too old.
He was a fucking.
And you say this is like has built up an immunity to shit in his body, but then he dies from COVID.
I mean,
Well, COVID probably killed
It's a
him because
different
he was
type of
old by the
immunity.
time he caught the COVID.
True.
maybe the lethal injection caught up to him, though.
What the fuck are they putting in the lethal injection that is not working? That it hasn't worked twice now.
I don't know.
So
Again,
lethal
it's-
the lethal injection is made. There's usually 3 types of lethal injections that are used. Pancuronium bromide, which is like basically just stops your fucking muscles and your lungs. Potassium chloride, which stops the heart, and midazolam, which just
Why don't they just sprinkle cyanide on their food? Like, here's your last meal.
Why don't
Eat
why
up,
don't they
and then
just
they
inject-
die.
Why don't they just inject him with a fucking syringe full of air?
Inject him with a syringe full of air. And now your blood
that's
vessel
a
go
lethal
burn.
You know what? I say for the lethal injections, we either start doing air or just straight up acid.
No, wait, hold on.
But yeah, look,
Hold. He didn't die because it didn't kill him. The execution was called off after 2 hours when technicians could not find a suitable vein, and he cried in pain when receiving 18 needle sticks.
oh, so it was a
Oh
bitch boy.
God! Please. Okay, Serenity, have you ever seen that clip of all the people face palming? I want that in the video after he reads that.
I was gonna say, if it was badass enough to fucking survive a lethal injection, they should have just called off all of your shadows and fucking set him free. Which I thought what I thought they did.
And he was set to
There's a
be
stop
executed
price.
again in June.
What's
However, he got a fucking reprieve from this governor, which set his new date to March, like 2022. However, he fucking
This
just
is the
died
fucking
before then. What a Chad move.
What this reminds me of is like this something similar happened to me. I didn't get lethally injected, but they were trying to
I
take
didn't
blood
get
from me.
lethally injected. Really?
Listen, man, I could probably survive it if this is all it takes. They couldn't find a vein on me.
Yeah.
How can they not find a vein on you? You're a fucking stick. It's just like they.
I'm fucking anorexic, essentially, and they could not find a vein.
I had a similar situation when I was taken to the hospital because of the rattlesnake bite. My veins are so small, it's hard for them to find an actual vein. They had to take one of those handheld sonic things, that they do to get a picture of the baby on the womb. They had to get one of those onto my arm to find the vein.
Did you say sonic things? You mean
Well, they need a
ultrasound?
suitable vein.
Yeah, an
It's an
ultrasound.
ultrasonic. Get fucking copyright
Anyone got
claim on
anything else
that
they
one.
want to say on this?
He fucking avoided hold on, because they said this is the second time someone has quote unquote survived, but he technically survived 3 of them because he dodged that second attempt. he said again, nope. He just got COVID and died. What a world.
All right. Anything else?
Hang on. This man was originally sentenced to die for raping and killing a 14-year-old Tyrana Middleton after abducting her in Cleveland in 1984. It took this long to get this man on death row.
Why the fuck is this even news?
It's because it's
Ohio
related, and
Ohio
go ahead.
Ohio is now under a de facto. Ohio is now under a de facto death penalty moratorium, as DeWine has said lethal injection is no longer an option because of the state's inability to find drugs. He said
Moratorium.
lawmakers would have to choose a new method.
So they can't find shit to inject into people? What?
Air is free,
There's
motherfucker.
air.
Just use air.
Honestly, that's it's inhumane. It's the thing.
It would cut down the price
But
so much.
is raping and killing a 14-year-old not also inhumane?
Just inject them
We
with a
have to
fucking
be better
Okay.
than monsters. You
Okay,
know,
so
I don't
hang
know,
on,
man.
let me
Batman
put-
Batman sure fucks people up.
Let me pose this question to those who are iffy on the death penalty. At what point do you give up your human rights? At what actions do you do in your life that you give up your human rights? At point, what can you do as a person that is so horrible that you lose your human rights?
No, I want to be clear here. I don't have any problem with the death penalty. I do not. I just don't think injecting air into people. Like, there are easier, more humane, and quicker ways to kill people.
Apparently not. They can't find the fucking drugs.
I'm just saying. After he gets out of that bumpy road, we have a syringe of air ready for him.
But I think we should do it humanely, and with the resources God gave us. Let's get some
we should just inject them with COVID.
Look, you want it humane? All right, fine. You want it humane? Fine. We'll pull him out to the yard. All the inmates can watch as we put a bullet in his fucking head.
Yeah, firing line. I'm all for that. Lead isn't that expensive. You know what we should do? You know what we should actually do?
I feel like Mort's trying to say something.
Well, he needs to say it in English.
I've been trying to fucking say it for a while. Just get the blood of somebody that has COVID and inject it into him. That's it.
I mean, just injecting him with someone else's blood could be deadly.
Yeah, that could be deadly on its own.
Yeah, just use other people's blood. It will work for 90% of people except for universal
Throw him
donors.
into a leper pit.
Actually, you know what? No, this guy has survived 3 executions. He could have probably fucking survived somebody else's blood in him.
He's probably a universal recipient.
Oh man.
All right.
But hold on, I just want to say that the same. No, go ahead.
Since the introduction of the electric chair, 3 other death row inmates in the U.S. survived the first attempt to execute them after the process began. Why are we just not shooting people? Why are we using all this elaborate shit?
Because
technically, even if you shoot someone in the head, I believe there's research that people can still feel pain afterwards. I'm not entirely sure, but
I don't care if they feel pain. I just want them dead.
I think there has been situations of fire lines where all of the shooters miss, which is impressive.
I don't understand why we just don't go the good old shower method. Get them in there, make it a little stinky in there, get a little gas, and it just works.
Instead of the death penalty, let's just Dutch oven people.
Look, I'd still one for the syringe full of air.
But I just want to say that the same people who are against the death penalty are the people who are completely for canceling people, like fucking over their livelihood, fucking over their relationships with their friends and family.
Destroying
people's lives.
There are some legitimate arguments. There are some legitimate arguments against the death penalty. Like, what if he's actually innocent?
It's it does happen. I'm not going to say it doesn't happen. I'm not going to say there aren't. I believe fucking hell.
Some people would rather the guilty people not be punished as long as no innocent people are,
What? That's dumb.
Mort says people who are against the death penalty are the same people who are for abortions.
Well, it's different. It's not a person yet.
He's not a person.
Honestly,
it's also not guilty, and we can't kill guilty people.
I'm all for killing as many people as possible, and I mean that sincerely. Death penalty, abortions, nukes. Let's do it.
So what you're saying is you're all for nuking China?
Of course.
Oh, dude, you remember when COVID was first being announced and stuff like that? It was brand new on the scene, and there were just clips of Chinese people getting sprayed by fucking fire hoses.
Oh man, you remember all those articles about people saying you're racist for saying this came from China and shit?
Yeah, of course, it came from Trump. You fucking idiot, derp.
I think we've gone on enough about this.
I just want to point out one last line here. Broom even assisted his executioners by trying to help them find veins. When his help made no difference, he turned onto his back and covered his face with his hands. He was like, please, just go. Fucking hell.
What did you do? What did...
When the technicians tried to use a vein on his leg, he grimaced and a member of the execution team patted him on the back. What in the fuck? This dude is a fucking rape. He's a rapist. He's a murderer. He was a fucking 14-year-old, and just like, it's okay, buddy. You're gonna be all right. We're gonna put you out of your misery in a comfortable fashion.
We're finally gonna kill you.
No matter what a person's done, to a degree, I can understand. The guy's about to die, sure, but
like that's why I'm saying, like, put fucking cyanide in their last meal. They get their last meal, like, they get to have a nice meal, and then they just fucking die.
Don't tell them when they're going to die. Just
say, what do you want for dinner?
Just they disappear one day, and it's like, what happened to him? Oh, he died of COVID.
What happened to him? Oh, what happened to him? Oh, you see that smokestack over there?
Like, you could get away with it.
You probably could.
Just tell him he died of COVID. Anyways.
Just like how they got away with Epstein and stuff.
No.
For the love of God, can we move
with
on
Epstein's
now?
suicide?
Morty, you're the next to read.
Okay. Your butt.
You got it, buddy.
Mortimer said Indiana man sentenced to 115 years for killing professor and stabbing his wife 2 dozen times.
Don't be a fucking autist. I will
Morty,
fucking
what the
mute
fuck
you.
is that?
It text to speech.
What's the
Is
point
it
of
even going
sentencing
to
him for 115 years? Why not a life sentence?
He lives that long. Well, people are living longer and longer nowadays.
But
you
a
know?
life sentence is a life sentence.
Like, the thing is this guy could possibly outlive that fucking sentence. It's possible. It's not very likely, but it's possible. And I don't want this man back out on the streets. Fuck that.
I don't know.
So wait,
Like,
did he
if
stab
that's
his own wife, or did he stab the professor's wife? Indiana man has been sentenced to murder. Oh, he stabbed the professor's wife.
So what happened is his wife was fucking the professor, and he...
No. No. No.
What?
You're wrong. You're not reading the fucking article.
Look, why else would you stab your
All
wife?
right, I'll read it.
He didn't stab his wife. He stabbed the man's wife.
Mort's just going to use text to speech.
No, he stabbed his wife.
An
No.
Indiana man has been sentenced to more than a century in prison for killing a college professor and stabbing the man's... the man's wife.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I was confused, and then I read that, and I was like, oh, it's the professor's wife.
After a jury convicted Winston Corbett last month for the 2011 stabbing of James Miller. 2011. Okay.
9 years to convict this motherfucker.
James
What?
Miller and his wife Linda Miller. The 25-year-old was given the maximum sentence on Monday, totaling 115 years in prison. Corbett received 65 years for the death of James, 50 years for the attempted murder of Linda.
He didn't even get the murder. SMH.
Some people murder people on accident. This man failed to successfully murder the person he was aiming at.
23 times!
Because
Look, I want to point out the woman he tried to murder was a full-grown one. The people that killed on accident were like underdeveloped children and elderly.
ABC News reported Tuesday, Corbett, who was 16 at the time of stabbings, was not charged until 2018 when he was connected to the scene of the crime through DNA evidence.
Isn't 23 times the number of times in the meme?
The justice system is not a quick process.
Linda was stabbed 23 times at the couple's home in Goshen, Indiana, in October 2011.
What
Yes,
the fuck
Morty.
do they keep giving people long-ass sentences when they could have just...
Okay, so there's two reasons. First off, not every murder is going to result in a death penalty.
It should. That's
Secondly,
what I'm saying. It should.
Secondly, it's probably connected to, at least in part, to the fact that prisons in America are privately owned, and so they make money per prisoner they have in there.
Also,
Having
technically,
a
he was
person
minor at the time he committed the crime.
Look, I'm just saying,
true.
syringes full of air just waiting in the police cars.
I'm just confused. He stabbed this woman 23
Syringes.
times and didn't kill her.
I mean,
It's gonna be
there's
like-
been cases of
His
people
wait, hold
shooting
on.
themselves
His
in the
target
face.
wasn't even the professor. His target was the wife, and then the professor died when he tried to help his wife.
Who's
How do you fuck up killing your target and end up killing her husband?
All these accidental deaths.
James was reported fatally stabbed when he tried to help his wife, according to ABC News, while Linda, who spoke during Monday's sentencing, virtually survived. The Goshen University biology professor did not. Winston's quote, Winston's actions have brought fear into my life. He brought fear into our neighborhood, and he brought fear into our community, Linda said at the hearing. All right. I just want to say, yeah, not every murder or attempted murder is going to result in a death sentence. And you can argue one way and the other. I don't think I'm qualified to say which is the right answer here. But I will say he was a minor at the time.
Hold on, wait a second.
If he had killed him... Go ahead.
They didn't charge him until 2018 when they got DNA evidence, and he's remained silent the entire time. There's a possibility here that he was fucking the professor's wife, and...
Well, of course, some fucking has to be involved here.
Right.
You don't just randomly stab women. Unless you're on drugs.
There's a possibility here, right? He was fucking the professor's wife, and I can't even continue with the bullshit I'm about to say.
Go ahead.
Okay, look, I'm just saying. What we do is we put in the police car. We put like put a empty an air-filled syringe onto the back seat of the thing, and then you lean the suspect against the needle. Don't push it in yet, and then you go through the bumpiest stop sign filled road you can.
Right. Just the dumbest shit, Blacky. I swear to God.
And you see if he can survive the trip to the police office.
And if he does, he's
he needs
scot
to go
free. Is
in-
that the fucking? Is that the end of
Yes.
this?
I mean,
Stupid.
like, you can't just blow it into, like, their fat or their muscles. That's not... This isn't...
Right, but okay. So she got stabbed 23 times, managed to survive. Her husband died trying to help her. This man is only connected with DNA evidence, and was 16 at the time. He was piping the wife. Husband came in. She decided to stab the shit out of her husband, and then stabbed herself, and then framed it on this man.
Oof.
I mean, how else do you get stabbed 23 times and just live?
Hold on. Actually, what is the DNA evidence? We don't know. Did he
It
mention
could be Coom! It could be Coom!
That's a pretty long time to hold some coom.
Oh,
Maybe the DNA evidence is their child.
Well, speaking of
How the fuck
children,
did they manage-
Serenity, you want to read the next article?
hold on. I would just like to say, how the fuck did they manage to like keep DNA evidence like? 'Cause don't like DNA just like dies off?
In the freezer.
Like how the fuck did they manage to like for 7 years?
It depends.
I
on
mean,
what kind of
we
evidence
have
it
all
was.
types of. I mean, look at the semen banks. We have those in freezers, and they work perfectly fine.
Yo,
I mean, it sounds like they just like recently discovered this DNA evidence, so it was just sitting there, somewhere in the fucking house, and they just found it recently, and
Or-
somehow it was still like.
I feel like I still feel like this man's being framed.
How many years has it been since
I think
7 years later, they just randomly go, "Yep,
DNA evidence
here's the man." DNA evidence
for
of
a
this
child?
man. Of this
The
child.
DNA evidence that his son...
You know, maybe she did. Maybe okay. So maybe what if she killed her husband. She stabbed herself.
That's what I was
And then
saying. That's exactly what I was
no,
saying.
hold on. 7 years later,
DNA evidence is this woman coming for child support.
She gets him to Kumin her 7 years later, and then uses the DNA evidence.
Yes, because people would look at that evidence and be like, "Yeah, that makes sense." Fresh cube inside of a cube. 7 years after. Why didn't they get him on rape then?
What the fuck?
Because it was consensual.
Alright. Dumb shit.
Let's move on, Mike. Read the next one.
Let's see here. Boy and his dog abandoned in Ohio cemetery before Christmas.
Damn.
Whoever
Wow.
did this wanted to
My
kill the child. Whoever did this wanted to kill the child, but they just forgot.
But he lived. But he lived.
Ohio.
He's he's coming back for that motherfucker that abandoned him. This is like an anime protagonist fucking backstory. He's coming back for this motherfucker and he's killing him.
Update. Good morning. Whilst the investigation is still going on, with a lot of questions still unanswered, I want to assure everyone that Tony is doing very well in the loving home of a foster family here in Medina County. His dad has been very cooperative with us and children's services in the investigation. So it sounds like the mother did this.
Well, yeah,
Or
only a mother would be,
I will refer their
vindictive.
information if I can. I would like to thank everyone for their kindness in wanting to buy Christmas presents for Tony, take him in and adopt him. You are all amazing people, and why we have such a community here in Hinckley, all of County and beyond. If anyone would like to buy a Christmas present for Tony, he will accept them at Hinckley PD and see that they get to him as soon as possible. He is a typical 3.5-year-old little boy, and his size is 4T to 5T if that helps. God bless and Merry Christmas, Chief Davidson. Centner. Fuck it.
There's another update here.
And then he gets a Christmas present that's a sweater with a bunch of razor blades inside the inside.
We have identified the parents and are working this evening with Medina County Children's Services on the investigation. I hope to provide further for the help in finding the parents. Also, all of the calls and messages to help Tony are greatly appreciated. All of you have renewed my faith and appreciation for... I swear to fucking God, this... I'm gonna murder this fucking newspaper. Okay.
You good?
Tony, I greatly appreciate. All of you have renewed my faith and appreciation. Yada, 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 yada.
At 12:16.
All of you are truly the best. God bless all of you, Chief Centner. At 12:16 p.m., the Hinckley Police Department responded to Hope Memorial Garden Cemetery for a reported abandoned child. Officers arrived meeting with the witness, who advised them that she had stopped at the cemetery, observed a medium blue mid-sized car parked semi-blocking the drive in northeast corner of the cemetery. As she drove around the vehicle and stopped, she observed the vehicle drive away at a high rate of speed. It was then that she observed a little boy running after the car, followed by a dog. Oh. The vehicle left the cemetery and went on towards Brunswick. The little boy was taken into protective custody, and Medina County Children's Services was contacted. The little boy only knows his first name as Tony. He did tell officers his mom's name was Katie and his dad's name was David. He appeared to be about 3 years old, in good physical condition, approximately 3 feet tall, 40 pounds, short brown hair, blue eyes. Below is a picture of Tony and yada yada. His parents contact the station.
What?
So I want to
WJW-TV reported that the boy had been his mother's custody at the time he was abandoned.
What? I bet you this is a child custody thing.
It
where
is.
the
It
mother...
likely is, because it sounds like the parents are divorced, and it sounds like she is mad.
Why the fuck is his mother not in custody right now?
Probably gonna fucking blame it on the dad.
This is Oh yeah, of course. It'll definitely be the dad, even though
It's
he's
because
working very
he
hard.
hasn't been paying his fair share
Child
of the
support.
child
When
support.
a man abandons a child, he takes him to the bar and leaves him there. When a woman abandons a child, she throws him.
She throws him in a
throws
fucking
him out into a
cemetery.
She throws him out to a cemetery.
At least wait until the kid's asleep. That's gotta be traumatic. You're just left with the dog.
He was
Yes,
running
like,
after the car. Can you
let me-
imagine?
Yeah.
You just see the car speeding off.
Hey, let me finish what I'm saying.
Go ahead, Blacky.
Let me finish what I'm saying. A man, when he abandons a child, he takes him to a bar, helps the child pass out, then fucking leaves. The woman leaves the fucking child in a cemetery and makes him run after the car.
I don't think you can get a 3-year-old drunk safely. Well, I mean, just like, I don't think you can knock him out of.
You can if he's a real man.
By the time the bars are open, the child's already tired out from the day of play.
Listen.
Hey bartender, I'm just gonna go to the restroom. Can you watch my kid for a second? And then he just fucking climb out the window of the bathroom.
I mean, at least.
Watch this kid receive a Christmas present that's just a sweater with a bunch of razor blades in the inside, and it's from the mother.
This is so
Jesus.
sad. So this reminds me, like, I don't know, it's not just mothers. There are bad parents on both sides of this, let's be honest. But this specifically reminds me of that mother who was smiling as she described, she's lying to, there's like this interview, right? And it's a famous interview about sociopaths and when they lie. And the woman is smiling as she describes a fake story in which someone walks up and shoots her children in the head point blank. And then, like, it turns out she killed them. She shot both of these kids whilst they were underneath a blanket and then drove them to the hospital and lied that they got shot by some stranger that was helping them on the road, or that she was trying to help on the road, one or the other.
Does she get off on it or something? Like, why?
I don't know. I don't remember. It's a very old story. I can pull it up for later, but it is just surreal.
At least this lady had the decency to leave her child in the cemetery, so when he eventually dies from fucking hypothermia, he's ordered in the cemetery.
Well,
But the
damn,
fucking sociopath, Jesus fuck. That's a whole.
My main point is that women, when they do shit, tends to be a bit more vindictive.
Can we talk about more on child endangerment here on the side? Man allegedly stabs girlfriend's eyes, throws daughter out window. Holy shit!
What the fuck?
Yeet! Fucking hell!
What the actual fuck?
Also, mom reportedly had sex with boy 14 after luring him to her home. Oog.
Jesus fucking Christ!
Oh.
At least she had the decency to leave a dog with.
Poor dog.
Like when the cops picked up the kid, they didn't even pick up the dog. They found the dog laid.
I mean, the dog wasn't near him. The dog was running around in the cemetery. Because the witness didn't see the. Well, actually, no, they saw the dog and the boy, but I don't think she knew where the dog went.
Like, just imagine if you were this kid and you were just told to get the fuck out of the car, and then your mother just drives away. Like,
he was running after the car. Like I said, that's so sad.
Yeah. Okay, so the woman's name was Diana Down, and basically, she drives into she sped into emergency room, drop off, saying that like a stranger shot 3 small children. Christy, who was 8, Cheryl, who was 7, and Danny, who was 3, were inside her blood-soaked car, shot at close range. And she says this. Oh my fucking god! Also,
I would call if I was
her left forearm.
If I was.
I just don't see what's her end game. What does she get out of this?
If I was the hospital worker, I would have called bullshit, because no mother would just sit there and allow that to happen. The mother would die before she would let her children die.
But just like she takes them to the fucking ER, they get treated, and then what?
It's just the creepiest interview, though, because
Just dead silence.
You cut out. Just dead silence.
it's just so creepy. How many times do I need to pause this? Fuck it, I'm closing this website. This bitch won't shut up. I keep pausing it and it keeps restarting. Anyway. Basically, this woman cannot lie to save her life, Diana Downs. Like, she smiles as she's describing, as she's trying to pretend to be upset about her children being shot point blank in the back of her car.
Like, if she didn't want the kids, she should have just.
I'm not saying
I don't know.
I'm not saying it's just women. I'm not saying that, like, women are always bad parents. It's just fucking hell.
Let me ask you, Mike. Let me ask you, Serenity.
Why is Cemetery? Why?
Serenity, let me ask you. This woman who shot her children, would you be okay giving her a syringe full of air?
Yes.
I think she took him to a cemetery to make the cemetery workers' jobs a bit easier. You know, it's like when you order food and they drop it off at your door.
But yeah, listening to this kid just being dumped here, it brings back memories of me being lost in the fucking supermarket. Like, I was terrified from that. I can't imagine the.
But at least you were in like an actual like place, like an actual building that was warm and had light, and not a fucking cemetery.
There were actual people. Like, this is the kid was only 3 too.
And she drove away in front of him. She didn't like say, "Hey, go over there, play," and then she just disappeared. She dropped him off and then sped away, like, while he was still watching. He ran after her.
Abandoned. Very obvious, even for a child. Like, it sucked. Alright.
What the fuck is this next article, though?
Child bystander critically injured in shooting over car parked in handicapped.
You may have to go back. The article may have changed for you, Goma.
Okay, hold on. Wait, what?
Next one after boy and his dog abandoned in Ohio cemetery before Christmas is child bystander critically injured in shooting over car parked in handicapped.
Oh, okay. I don't know what. Oh, because the fucking video ended. The fucking video took me to the next thing. The video ended and it took me to an article about fucking the dry fucking temperatures in Denver and shit. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? This isn't even an article though. This is just a video.
What did I miss? What did I miss?
How the fuck am I supposed to know what the fuck you missed? I don't know when you left.
What did I miss?
What did I miss?
You missed a woman shooting her own children. All right.
Yeah, no, I heard that.
So I want to point out this is another dead child. This is another dead child and another accidental shooting of a child.
And a Little
Caesars. I want to talk real talk here. No, I want to talk real talk here for a second. So what this is over, for the record, this has nothing to do with the child's parents, from what I'm understanding. This is about, there's a car parked very poorly, mind you. Like, the image at the very end of this video shows how the car was parked. And I immediately understand why this person was taking pictures of the car. It's because the car is parked partially on the fucking curb. And this is exactly the sort of thing I would take a picture of in real life. So I can absolutely understand why the man's taking a picture of this. And then the driver, the owner of said car, starts shooting at this man over him taking pictures of the car. And keep in mind, this car has its license plate covered partially by a piece of paper. This is just like...
Wait, so then...
First off...
Was the child with the man?
I believe, if I'm to understand this correctly, the child is in a different, completely unrelated car.
So it's another...
What is it, dude? Just these stray bullets, man. Crazy.
Stray bullets, man.
Fucking hell.
I think kids are just magnetic. I think it's something in the happy...
Honestly, these kids are fucking...
Okay, imagine this. Imagine this. You drive up to a Little Caesars. You leave your kid in the car while you go in to get the $5 pizza. You come back, your kid is shot.
More pizza for me, I guess. What's it just like? You have an argument with someone, and then you pull out a gun and start shooting. And instead of shooting at this person, you shoot in their general area and hit a child. Just, what the fuck?
Look, not everyone goes down to the shooting range to learn how to fire their fucking gun.
Like, just back up your car into the guy taking a picture. Just do something.
I bet he was holding the gun sideways.
He didn't even have to, like, shoot him. All he had to do was, like, step out of the car, point the gun at him.
Go ahead, Mark. Go ahead.
Hold on. I bet you these people, if they went to the fucking shooting range, they'd still end up accidentally shooting a child.
They fucking shoot and ricochet, hit some kid somewhere.
Like, I very much believe in, like, Second Amendment rights and stuff like that, but these articles are enough to make me question.
Like, I think people who own guns need to fucking have some training.
They need to have periodic mental check.
No, not even that. Just what they should force them to do is they should have a small child-shaped doll and put them in a room with it, and then have them point the gun straight up in the air and just start shooting. And if the doll gets hit once, that's it. They're just banned. they need to, for the test to be valid, they have to fire in the exact direction of the doll.
Fucking hell.
No. What they have to do, well, they can't make sure that the child-shaped doll will be enough. They have to bring an actual child, just to be sure.
No, like a kitten or something.
They put a kid behind like a bulletproof wall.
if the kid so much as coughs, it's over. But anyways,
this is what the fourth kid to get shot accidentally, and the second in a car.
So fucked up. Why?
These kids have bad reflexes, honestly.
One of them was sleeping and was like 12 months.
10 months.
You fucking pickle up.
Dodge.
No.
Alright,
You
next
know,
up. My God.
that
Why
fucking
didn't
rule where,
you
like, if something
dodge?
bad- You know that fucking rule, like, if something bad could happen, it will happen. This is
Murphy's Law?
basically if a child could get shot. If a child could get shot, he will get shot.
Rip.
Man freed without bail for wielding gun gets busted again with pistol.
Did they not take his gun away when they...
A Brooklyn man accused of flashing a silver gun at a rifle. God damn it! I swear, if a child gets shot, and threatening to shoot him, was cut loose without bail, only to get busted 3 weeks later with a loaded pistol. The Post has learned Michael Watson.
Michael
22,
Watson.
Oh, it's Amelia Watson's cousin.
displayed the handgun in his waistband to faux. Oh my God! Hold on. I want to read this again. Michael Watson, 22 years old.
Why did he...
Shut up, Morty. Allegedly displayed the handgun in his waistband to faux Makael or Makay. Makia? Is that how you say it?
I have no clue.
Makia Bryant near 956 Park Place. Oh man, we're playing Monopoly now. In Crown Heights on December 4th, according to a complaint. Get off my block or I'm gonna shoot you.
Can we just hold on? Can we just like pause and make note that they've been referred to as rivals and that this man is referred to as a foe? Yes. Like what the fuck what are they just like known in town for being like duelists?
It's like in Durarara. There's just people who are known enemies.
Look,
you
honestly,
fouls, Neanderthal.
Honestly, if I was trying to threaten someone, I wouldn't say, get off my block, I'm going to shoot you. I'd be like, get off my block before I send you to the Shadow Realm.
It's fucking terrible.
Get off my
it's like
block.
but it's just like, these two are like actual distinguished gentlemen. It's just like, you absolute neophyte, you knave. Remove thyself from my block, or I shall put lead inside of you, son.
20 paces at dawn.
You do a lead overdose. After his
Blacky would say, "Get off my block while I push you down a very bumpy road."
I got this needle full of air. You don't want this.
Because I got this syringe full of the wrong type of blood. After his arraignment on second-degree menacing, third-degree menacing, and second-degree harassment raps, he was free due to criminal justice reform.
Criminal justice reform.
Oh, I remember those. I remember those.
From holding defendants on certain charges.
Harassment raps. That's an actual.
I remember this. So guys, some areas of the United States have criminal reforms, which basically mean unless you like murder someone, they can't keep you in jail. They have to release you. And then about like most of the time, those people that they release end up getting brought in for the same charges again, but they can't charge them because of the criminal reforms.
But he got charged with something different this time.
Sounds like this only applies to very certain charges.
Because the second time, he got charged with criminal possession of a loaded firearm.
It only applies to certain charges, but if you look at the list is pretty fucking dumb.
About 3 weeks later, on December 26, Watson was back in cuffs after NYPD officer Joseph Zurella. Or Zurea. Is this man... Oh, fuck it. Allegedly spotted him with a piece...
With a piece? Who's writing these articles?
It made me pause too. What the fuck? Who wrote with a piece? Well, it's New York. It's fucking New York. That's why. With a piece at Brooklyn Avenue, at Park Place in Crown Heights.
Again, Park Place in Crown Heights. He's out here on his block trying to get people off of it.
The cop allegedly observed defendant hold and adjust a fanny pack. Defendant was wearing the outline of a gun in said fanny pack.
This motherfucker's wearing a fanny pack.
The complaint states that approached Watson. He allegedly fled on foot and dropped the fanny pack. The cop recovered a 9mm pistol loaded with a magazine containing a dozen rounds.
How did you drop a fanny pack? How did you drop a fanny pack?
He probably purposely ditched it. But this time, Watson didn't get off so easy. He was hit with 1 count each of criminal possession with a loaded firearm and possession of pistol ammunition, and 2 counts of criminal possession of a weapon. Brooklyn Criminal Court Judge Jane Turley ordered him help in lieu of $30,000 and immediately returned a request for comment. The lawyer has nothing to say here. The defendant's an idiot.
Defendant's stupid. I like how there's no image of this man. Just the gun. Just a random fucking gun.
Well, probably because he was black and don't need an image of that. But this is what
Michael
happens when you're playing
Watson?
Monopoly.
Really? Michael Watson?
Well, you don't know.
Michael Watson. I mean, it's
He upgraded his fucking houses, and he was just trying to make money.
This is what happens when you're playing Monopoly and someone comes by, it stops on your fucking tile, and they don't have the money to pay.
Oh god, it's so fucking stupid.
Exactly.
Who wants to read the next one?
I forgot that these used to give me fucking annuals. This is dumb shit.
Him getting out of fucking like the first.
This isn't a fucking article. This is a video. Why are you doing
fine.
this?
We'll move on to the next one.
It was him just fucking rolling doubles.
Rolling doubles?
He's a small double during jail time.
I mean, like, what the... Like, there's a tiny bit of text here. Something about the Moderna COVID-19 vaccine has been proven safe and effective for most people, but there are side effects if you've had cosmetic surgery. That means literally fucking nothing. Cosmetic surgery is such a wide and varied fucking type of surgery.
Well, I assume they're talking about it reacts with silicone, probably.
No, what the
Silicon Valley.
Like, if you've adjusted your face or your chest or your ass or something, there's probably, or if you've gotten, like, muscle implants or some shit like that.
You've gotten those fucking muscles from SpongeBob, the ones you blow into.
Anchor arm.
Yeah, you got in the anchor arms, then you can't take the vaccine. I'm sorry. Oh, fucking hell.
Let's move on to the appeals court.
You can't take it because the needle literally cannot go past the fucking plastic.
Right.
That's what we're talking about.
Who's reading this?
Who wants to?
Appeals court upholds bribery conviction for Chinese think tank official with ties to Hunter Biden.
Hunter Biden. Can we... Chi Ping Patrick Ho.
Was convicted in 2018 for violating the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act. A three-judge panel on the U.S. Second Circuit Court of Appeals in New York has upheld the bribery conviction for Xi Ping Patrick Ho, the former Hong Kong Home Affairs Secretary and former chairman of a think tank funded by Chinese energy conglomerate CEFC.
Chi Ping Patrick Ho.
What a fucking name.
I would be fucking furious with my parents. Chi Ping Patrick Ho? What the fuck is this? What sort of bad joke is this? I don't need fucking 3 first names, and one of them does not need to be fucking Patrick.
What do you have against Patrick's?
No, that's
Because you bring this random guy out, and you're like, oh, this is Mr. Chi Ping, Mr. Ho, first name Patrick, first name what? He's dishonoring his family.
no, like that's his fucking American like fake name, like fake name.
The report also said that Janet Ming and other Chinese nationals who had business dealings with Hunter Biden were linked to the Chinese Communist government and the People's Liberation Army.
Yeah, fucking Hunter Biden's a dipshit. Dude, he fucking smokes crack. It be like that. It really do.
It's funny as shit. If you point out any of the Hunter Biden shit to Joe Biden, he gets really fucking mad.
I don't know why this made me think of this, but hold.
I mean, he probably just doesn't want to hear about his son being a complete fuck up, and who can blame him?
Prosecutor said that O and CFC executives over $2 million in cash stuffed in a box to prisons Idris Deby of Shad during a meeting December 2014. Meanwhile, Uganda's foreign minister Sam Kutisa allegedly holy shit, they are just like bribing everybody.
Bing.
Well, how the fuck do you think Biden became the president-elect? He sure as shit wasn't popular.
Bing.
Despite Ho's claim of insufficient evidence, the justice said in the ruling that evidence introduced at trial was more than sufficient to prove that Ho acted on behalf of a U.S. non-governmental organization to assist it in obtaining business for CFC Emery. Ho was sentenced last year to 36 months in prison and imposed a fine of $400,000. He was released in June due to good behavior.
Someone named Chi Ping Patrick Ho cannot have bad behavior. That one's already off the table.
They fucking bribed him out of the fucking jail. Also, I would like to say these are like types of like acts that could like completely destroy a fucking government, and like he only receives like 1.5 years in prison.
Oh yeah, this type of shit should be like federal traitor shit.
Oh boy. Yep, good old people in power accepting bribes, moving money around, and doing all sorts of dumb shit. But I don't know. The only takeaway from this is Chi Ping Patrick Ho.
St. Louis Sheriff's Department struck.
It's
Hold
fine.
on, wait,
St. Louis
hold on,
Sheriff.
hold on. Just get a quick picture of the man in there. Let out for good behavior. I mean, can you imagine this man on bad behavior? Could you? Could you?
St. Louis Sheriff's deputy struck to his own baton after telling store customer to wear a mask.
God forbid you be forced to wear a mask when it's the fucking.
The
She
suspect
grabbed his fucking
for the
baton.
grabbed for the officer's baton and struck her with a concussion.
I think that's ground for.
Oh, this is a female officer.
Oh wait, no, okay, the she is the officer. Wait, was it a dude that grabbed it then?
No.
No. What we're saying is that
I think they're
the
both women.
sheriff is female. Okay, so the
They're
woman,
both
a
women.
woman hits. Hold on. A woman hits a deputy, but the sheriff of that deputy is female, and for whatever reason, they felt the need to tell us that the sheriff is female, even though she's completely unrelated.
Wait, what?
No. The female deputy said the suspect became belligerent.
Yeah.
The deputy was female, and the woman that hit her was
They're
also
both
female.
females. God, come
And
on.
the sheriff is also female. Oh, my, this was like.
Who cares? Who cares about the sheriff, Mort? One, not as it's not.
No, I think it's because it mentions the female sheriff's deputy instead of just saying the female deputy. It's just like fuck. It's confusing wording.
This wouldn't have happened if this was a man.
But they're all females. Like all three of these people. I'm just like lost why they worded it like this.
They're all female. What is your guys' problem?
No, it's the way they worded it. And look, they're searching for a female suspect accused of beating a female sheriff's deputy.
The authorities in St. Louis were searching for a female suspect accused of beating a female sheriff's deputy with her own baton. The woman entered the convenience store at a Shell gas station on Christmas Day and told the deputy who was providing security at the store that she wouldn't be allowed inside without face covering.
So the sheriff wasn't even there.
These people. Yeah, we know.
So then why the fuck are they bringing her up? I'm so... What the fuck? Why is the title St. Louis Sheriff's Deputy and not just St. Louis Deputy? Oh my god. This is...
Well, because when you're called a deputy, you're a sheriff's deputy because the sheriff is in charge. All of the deputies are sheriff's deputies.
There are two people that matter in this story, and only two. And I need you guys to get over this because there's other shit to talk about. There's a female suspect, and there's a female sheriff's deputy, or if you prefer, deputy. You good?
No.
Not asking. End of conversation. Word got
The
over.
female deputy said the suspect became belligerent, punching the deputy and grabbing for the deputy's baton. The suspect struck the deputy with the baton, causing a concussion, according to Facebook post of the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department.
Now, I could be wrong here, but I'm pretty sure if you grab any officer's weapon or deputy's weapon, that's grounds for them to use whatever they have left. So if you
that's ground for you to get shot right there.
Yeah, I think it's if they grab your taser, you go for your gun.
Wait, hold on. The suspect is wanted on charges of robbery and assault? Did she run away with the baton?
I think so.
I don't think it matters. I think they still took the weapon.
The deputy declined medical attention, police said.
I don't know if that makes her a chat or not.
Hold on.
Fuck that shit. I'm getting my baton back.
Hold on. The sheriff is actually a male.
Huh?
Who cares?
Good for you, Mort. Who cares? Who gives a fuck?
Well,
There is exactly no reason to give a fuck about
This
the
whole
sheriff.
article has been a whirlwind.
Fuck it. I'm moving on. I'm done. Nope. Not looking at it. A movement is looking a rallying cry how Black Lives Matter changed America's view on race.
Yes, you made America more racist.
Yes, you've effectively made America more racist than it ever has been before. Congratulations, Black Lives Matter. Okay, the Black Lives Matter movement, founded in 2013, has changed the way the nation talks about race, but the organization itself may be disconnected from local chapters. In 2013, Alicia Garza offered words of comfort in a Facebook post to Black people after George Zimmerman was acquitted of murder in the killing of a 17-year-old Trayvon Martin. Our lives matter. From the phrase, Garza and her friends Patrice Coolers and Opal Tometi created hashtag Black Lives Matter.
So hang on.
What started as a... Sorry, go ahead.
Hang on. So I want to point out that the organization itself may be disconnected from local chapters. That's them trying to push away all those crazies that started shooting cops and shit and doing crazy violent crimes. They're like, oh no, those people aren't part of us, even though they're screaming about Black Lives Matter and shit. No, if you're going to have such a radical statement, you're going to have to be in charge and responsible for everyone.
A radical statement. I think the implication behind it is very hard.
Well, no. What I meant, if you're going to have such a radical organization, that's what
there's. I forget what it is, but there's.
What to say? Like the only way they've changed how people talk about race is by making them talk about it in fear.
No, like I sincerely. I have nothing but contempt for most of Black Lives Matter. I understand the intent behind it, and I think it's a really good idea. Like, maybe, like, there are problems in this country that we need to talk about. But the way they go about it is the scummiest thing ever. And the fact that they just, like, it honestly feels like the whole intent behind it is just to see how far they can get off of being victims.
Can we talk about fucking...
Power,
oh, go ahead.
How much power and how much carnage they can get through. Sorry, go ahead.
I want to talk about how ridiculous this first statement is. Words of comfort after George Zimmerman was acquitted? What? Fucking Trayvon Martin was a criminal. He was a criminal that assaulted George Zimmerman. He was acquitted fairly. He wasn't acquitted fucking, like... murder? It was self-defense. Holy shit, what the fuck is this, like, revisionism right now? We're just rewriting history? We're just rewriting history to make this bullshit in your favor? Like, fucking Trayvon Martin's death has nothing to do with the general black community and how black people are affected. Saying our lives matter to comfort people is fucking ridiculous. That's like if a white man was shot if a white man was shot and someone said, our fucking white lives matter, the fucking message would just be gone. It'd be fucking completely out of there.
Do you remember it's okay to be white? Do you remember that statement?
Yeah, I remember how they were so against that.
Do you remember what happened as a result of it?
I believe someone got suspended or sent out, removed from a school because of it. Okay.
First, do you guys know what I'm talking about? It's okay to be white.
I remember there was a college who posted some flyers saying it's okay to be white.
So basically, this was a whole thing. I think it was 4chan or Reddit, one or the other. Basically, they had a plan. They wanted to show people just how bad the American media was about race, right? Like how biased and disgusting they were. So they posted a completely innocuous statement. It's okay to be white. And I think that's a true statement. I think we can all agree with that. I think we can all agree that Black lives do indeed matter. It is okay to be white. Like, these statements are true, but you post it's okay to be white it was a high school, I believe, and they also did a couple other places around town. And the response to it was the most racist bullshit I have ever seen. There's news articles on this that it's a dog whistle, basically, is what they called it. They basically said, yes, it seems like this innocuous statement, but really it's coded racism meant to infect you with white privilege or something.
If it's a dog whistle, who's the dog? Who the fuck is the dog who's now complaining about it? Who is the dog in this situation who's now listening to this whistle? dipshits.
I think the implication. I think they're right. It is a dog whistle. It's meant to provoke people.
Yes, that's what I'm
what
saying.
dog whistles are.
They are the dog who have not been provoked by the whistle.
But it shouldn't be provoking. It's a true statement. It is okay to be white. I am not a monster because I was born with white skin. I am not racist because I was born with white skin. Regardless of what any viewer thinks about my views, I would hope sincerely that if you're going to call me racist for being white, you understand that that is racist in and of itself.
But okay, so hold on. I just want to say, like, imagine we're in France, right? We're in France. There's a German police officer comes into France, kills a French criminal. People don't start going around saying French lives matter. There's no reason to be sympathizing with criminals. There's absolutely zero reason to be sympathizing with criminals and to be trying to tell people that their lives are in danger because a criminal was killed.
Excuse the pun, but that it's okay to be white really showed their true colors.
So there is. I do want to point out, just to be fair, there is some justification to all of the fear and the hate. You have to understand, like, the today's generations, recent generations, we're still in the wake of a lot of racism, right? Like, there are still people alive who went through real oppression, and they've raised their children accordingly, and those children have grown up believing, well, not believing to a degree, there was still racism in their parents' time. And then now we have a new generation who I can firmly say, for the most part, has faced what is the most accepting time in American history, and is pretty much not. It's not. I won't say there's no racism, because that would be.
To be fair, there are still individuals who are racist and still do stupid racist things.
Okay, but Trayvon Martin was not a 17-year-old black boy who was, like, unfairly and unjustly, persecuted and murdered. He was a violent criminal who tried to kill George Zimmerman after they went down to the ground.
So,
in this situation, Zimmerman was,
and that is my big gripe with a lot of this shit. Is a lot of these people that they make out to be saints are just actual criminals, including fucking George Floyd. It's a fucking horrendous criminal.
I want to say, in relation to all this Black Lives Matter bullshit, in the eternal words of Morgan Freeman, the best way to fucking stop racism is to just stop talking about it.
He's right, because the more you make race an issue, the more it's gonna become an issue. This is the killing of Trayvon Martin, the quote unquote killing of Trayvon Martin was not a race issue. The same thing with the death of George Floyd. It was not a race issue.
The main problem here is what Black Lives Matter does is it vindictively preys on that internal fear that black people have of the still small amount of racism that still exists. They still feared that, so it's building up on that fear.
And that's just completely wrong.
This is just a theory on my part. I have no way to prove this, but I sincerely believe that to a degree, there is a very real portion of, there is to some degree, I'm sure, racism in the world still. That's part of it. But I also think there's this whole stigma that these people, again, they were raised by people who saw real oppression. So they're like, hey man, you can't trust the cops.
And that's fine. That's completely fair. And I'm completely fine with their message about reforming the police. But this is what Black Lives Matter is doing is just literal fear mongering for no reason.
If you look at a lot of videos, I happen to be a person who watches a lot of cop cams just to see situations and how news articles handle it. A lot of the times, you see black people being approached by cops, they're either crying or very defensive because they don't trust the cops at all. Blanket, they do not trust the cops. There's no good cop but a dead cop sort of mentality.
Well, they're
there to kill you, and that's it sort of mentality. And that leads to these life or death situations. These people honestly believe they're in danger around these cops and don't feel safe around these cops based solely on what their parents taught them. And their parents aren't wrong to teach them this. They went through real oppression. but because they have been taught this, they don't trust cops, and so they like, I need to defend myself, and we end up with situations where like, it's either me or them. I draw a gun, and the cops have to shoot you because you're now aiming a gun at them.
I read somewhere that like the reason why a lot of cops just end up like shooting unarmed black people is because a lot of like fucking black people just have like their fucking pants like all around their fucking thighs, and when they eventually run away from the cops, their pants fall off and they try to pick them up, and it looks like they're throwing a gun, which forces the cops like just pull out a gun and shoot them.
That's a stupid theory.
That's a stupid fucking theory. That is some like. That's.
Well, there's
That's like actually racist, more.
I think it's very important that we acknowledge that.
No, it's
Yes,
right
probably at least some amount of racism. But if you want to start pointing fingers at why, if for any reason why there is per capita more black people in prison or being shot in similar situations, that would probably be it. And if we're going to address this, the gap is not as big as people typically make it out to be. The problem in general is not as big as people make it out to be. I won't say there isn't a problem. When we look at this, we haven't even, I do want to point out, we're nowhere near the end of this article. So I think we should move on with it because this isn't what it was addressing, I don't think.
The article is just here to pat BLM on the back and make them feel good.
Well, what started as a poignant hashtag has become has come to define a generation. In 7 years, Black Lives Matter has become a multi-chapter organization that has changed the very framework with which the nation talks about race. The conversation about race didn't exist in a vast capacity until we saw the Black Lives Movement. Lies.
That's because no, there was. There was.
Executive director and co-organizer of BLM Oklahoma City. Okay. Now, difficult conversations, honest conversations, and even some discourse have become part of the daily discussion here in Oklahoma. Okay. Having lived in Oklahoma, not once have I walked, even in, okay. I went to Starbucks during their whole thing about, start a conversation. Your what's it called? Barista has been instructed to start whip up a conversation about the race issue. Not once has someone walked up to me and been like, let's talk about the state of race in this country. And you know why? Because they're not fucking psychopaths. 80% of people in the world, not 80%, 80% of people in the country give zero fucks about this. They don't think there's a problem either way here. We would probably sit on one side of this argument because we have some distinctly extreme views in some senses. And BLM would be on the other end of the spectrum. But most people, zero fucks given. They don't care one bit. The whole ploy of news in this country is to try and sway stray cases on either side of that 80% towards their respective extremes.
Look, I just want to say this now. Even if, let's say if the Trayvon Martin shit was a actually racist motivated shooting, that does not give. It is not a good situation to then go out from that to rioting and burning down cities. That is not going to help you in any way at all.
How many people died?
Plus, like, just shouting BLM and joining for rallies only gets you people who are already going to accept your message. You're not appealing to anybody who may be part of the opposition.
Have you seen them going to diners and shit where people are eating outside, going up to them and demanding that they raise their fists and shout BLM with them, or else they knock over their table and shit.
Sorry, Mort, what did you have?
You're thinking of George Floyd, Blacky, not
absolute silence.
Not Trayvon.
Trayvon was mentioned in the article, though. And they mentioned it as, the start of the BLM movement, essentially.
Yeah, but it's George Floyd that fucking started the riots, and I'm just
same difference.
Because
there were riots for Zimmerman.
The dude fucking...
Yeah, there were riots for Trayvon Martin, too, bud.
he fucking got OD. But I'm saying, like, he fucking OD. He didn't get fucking shot to death.
Anyways, its cultural impact cannot be denied. I agree with that. There's certainly been an impact.
I also want to say, from my previous statements in previous episodes about the writers being petulant children, I was right. Fuck all of you.
All right.
To a large extent. No, fuck them. Like, what they did, they took one person dying, made it a national issue, an international issue, actually, because Canada got involved, though it was peaceful and a beautiful...
They fucking treated him like a hero.
They killed 20 people, I believe. I believe it was in the double digits. I want to say it was 20. Some 20 people died over the course of these riots. Fuck them and fuck anyone around who supports violence. If you want to protest, not riot, but protest, that's one thing.
But I'm with Mort on
killing
this.
20 people over the... Sorry, what's your point?
He's saying, like, they made George Floyd out to be a hero, like a saint, but he was actually, like, a hardened criminal.
I don't care if the guy gave children. Fuck that, and I don't have... yes, he's a criminal. That doesn't make it okay. I think there were some issues with protocol. I don't know if it was a race issue or not. To be honest, it's a while ago. But
it was retaliating, and he fucking died from drug overdose, not choking. The fucking knee, like the knee on the neck, is like a common fucking like apprehension technique. That like
he was saying he couldn't breathe way before they even touched him.
Yeah,
because he was fucking ODing.
It's still not an acceptable hold. I think we can all agree. Putting your knee on the neck.
Not really. No,
not really. A lot of like police throughout the world use that technique.
They were trying to get him into the police car like properly, and it just was not working out.
It's a safe method.
Regardless.
It's a safe method to hold somebody.
Regardless of if it was okay or not, it's definitely not okay to murder 20 people, 20 separate people, white, black, male, female, every fucking color of the spectrum, because of these riots over one person dying. Even if it was the most racist shit. I don't care if the guy curb stomped the fucker. Okay? I don't care if it was a little kid.
Some fucking, what is it, American History X? Or some shit just fucking curbs. Jesus.
Alright, let's get some last statements and then move on.
One person's death and turned it into 20 across in an international situation.
Mm-hmm. What a way to honor someone's passing by murdering more people on their behalf.
Yeah, let's get some last statements and then move on.
I would just like to say to anybody who like fucking listened so far, the dude fucking abandoned his fucking wife and child, and they still like the fucking retards. They still like wherever like people find out about this, the wife and child like still like mourned his death and like said they feel bad and like fucking.
Well, Morty, you have to understand that abandoning your wife and child is a pretty normal thing in black communities. So of course it wouldn't faze them.
Fucking hell.
Man just went out. No, they didn't abandon them. They just went out for milk.
Yeah, you just went out for smokes.
It's like a It's like one of those rituals, you know, to make sure the kids grow up properly. They have to go through the ritual of the lost father.
They need to be raised by a single mother. It's the only.
You see, son, when you become 14, you will go through the ritual of the lost father.
Goma, why don't you read the next?
Someone comes and murders us.
Fucking hell.
Wait for this to be the story.
Trump supporters turned to Pence's latest far-fetched bid to overturn the election. It's a little late at this point. Having lost the popular vote, the Electoral College, and 59 court cases seeking to overturn the will of the voters, President Trump would appear to be out of options when it comes to the prospect of remaining in office past January 20th. But some of the president's most ardent supporters still see one last ray of hope. Vice President Mike Pence This Representative Louis Gohmert filed a far-fetched lawsuit on Sunday against Pence, who by law is slated to preside over the counting of the electoral votes in Congress on January 6th, when Joe Biden will be formally declared the winner. He's asking the court to grant Pence the sole authority to overturn Trump's defeat in key battleground states, rather than simply oversee the electoral college vote tally. I don't really want to continue reading this any further. This is the dumbest shit I've heard.
It's pretty fucking dumb.
This is the absolute dumbest shit I've ever heard.
This is pretty fucking dumb.
They want the vice president to not do his just duty of counting the vote, but to fucking go and have fucking sole authority to overturn decisions in battleground states. Not to challenge these decisions, to overturn them completely.
Listen, I don't care who you vote for, whatever the point is. At this point, it's been decided. All right?
No.
But, can you imagine, if this gets passed, right? If this gets passed, and then Joe Biden still makes it in, then you now have given authority to the current reigning party to have their vice president fucking decide who wins the next election, essentially.
No, that's dumb, and
that
doesn't
is
happen.
Beyond ridiculous.
But I do.
As a foreigner who has nothing to do with the fucking U.S. elections, I've been watching them like great interest because they've been fucking a source of entertainment. And it's clear that fucking Biden like cheated in his fucking votes, and this is like the fucking thinking process of the cheater. He expects like the fucking representative to like help Trump because that's what he would do.
Here's the deal.
That's like when you cheat, you expect other people to also cheat.
There's a lot of suspicious things about the last couple votes we've had. And there's a lot of bullshit going on. But regardless of if someone cheated or not, at this point in time, if Biden cheated, he still won. Unless you can definitively prove he cheated in a very distinct and easy way.
We could easily prove it if we just did the recounts, but they refused to. Let me say this. If you had not cheated, Mike, let's say you ran and you hadn't cheated or anything, and you'd still gotten the win, and then people were demanding recounts. What would you do? Would you say let the recounts happen, or refuse to have the recounts? What would you do?
I mean, if I hadn't cheated, let them.
To play devil's advocate here, the recounts open opportunity for the other party to cheat.
Yes,
but
it opens up another opportunity for Republicans.
Just the idea here of this article of letting the vice president just completely side with the current reigning president for a re-election is some pretty dystopic shit.
Yes,
that's some monarchy shit right there. That's some Putin. That's some Putin winning the election unanimously shit. You know what I mean?
There's so many things I could say about the voting system in America and how much I actually despise the reason why it still exists. Okay, so I think these Americans in general, we just have this sort of hero worship of the Constitution to the point that our whole our judges, the people who actually review the laws, they're set so that they interpret the Constitution, when in reality the Constitution was written by people years ago. So the laws
it was written to be outdated. They wrote it with the intention that it would be outdated after a couple of years and be replaced with a new document. But instead we just added amendments to it for some reason.
Yes, it was meant to be a living document. But the thing is that it very clearly does not work for today's system. People now have information about the people we're voting for. We don't need representatives. Again, a popular vote isn't the best thing either. There are very good voting systems that I will not describe.
Mike, I do want to stop you there. You said people have a lot of information about the people they're voting. There was a lot of information about Biden during this election that was suppressed by the news.
There's a lot of biased information available, but regardless, there is information available that you can find proper sources if you want to.
But you see, Mike, despite that, right, there's still ignorance. Despite now that ignorance is no longer a matter of like your situation, and it's now a choice, they're still ignorant.
The issue is that there are voting systems available that we are very familiar with that solve dozens of corruption issues that would solve dozens of corruption issues in this
There's
country. There are systems that would completely remove gerrymandering, that would remove the party system entirely. There are systems in place, or that could be put in place, to deal with all of these issues, but they will never see the light of day because we're stuck supporting and building towards this vision that people centuries ago had of our country. It's so painful. And then we've got people who just don't understand how our country works. We've got
unfortunately, Mike, we can't just take the Constitution and completely throw it out. That would be a complete rebuilding of the country itself.
No, of course. I do understand there's never going to be a point in time where it's just fuck it, we don't need all these laws. But it's so easy. Goma makes fun of, for some reason we just made amendments instead of making a new document. But I get it. Amendments are easier than rewriting an entire document, especially in a country where it takes Congress 3 months to decide whether we're going to pass a bill or not on giving relief aid to during the COVID quarantine. But it's
how many amendments are we on right now?
I would just like to add Serenity to.
We're at 27 right now. You figure after the first couple, you're maybe we should change the base here because we're adding a couple things on here. We're at 27 right now. 27 fucking amendments. Is that not enough of a fucking glaring proof that this shit does not work?
Well, the Constitution is basically the American Bible. You can't rewrite it. You just have to add little things.
You just have to add Jesus saying it's okay to be gay.
That's how you get Muslim.
Jesus says it's okay to be gay somewhere in the Bible now. I would not be surprised if they sold Bibles like that.
Let's move on to the military.
No. Hold on. Mort, you had something you wanted to say?
I wanted to fucking say, well, I was cut off several times. There are people have actually made a simulation of different voting systems.
Yeah, I've watched that video.
Definitively prove just how bad the current voting system is.
It's not even.
And make sure to link it in the fucking podcast.
Sure.
Post it.
There are several perfectly good voting systems that solve most of the corruption that we deal with currently in our nation. Are they perfect? No, but they're definitely better than what we have.
The issue,
and they remove most of the possibility of cheating. And I love this country, and I wish it was better. But anyway,
the issue is that the majority is almost always wrong for whatever fucking reason.
I mean, because people are not divided into extremes.
Plans for Army striker-mounted laser shoot-off enter final.
Dude, look how fucking badass that image is.
I know, right?
As 2021 approaches, Army testers are in the final stages of plans for a shoot-off event to select a maker for the service's first laser-equipped striker vehicles. Teams from Northrop Grumman and Raytheon will take their striker vehicle prototype equipped with a 50-kilowatt laser to Fort Sill, Oklahoma this spring. Yes! Finally,
this is some Command and Conquer shit.
This is some great shit right here.
Spring.
This is Command and Conquer shit.
Scenarios designed to test the limits of each prototype's ability to defeat enemies, unmanned aircraft systems, enemy rockets, artillery, and mortars, and other aerial threats, according to a December 21st Army release.
That's beautiful.
One of the laser-equipped striker designs will be manufactured to equip the Army with an initial operating capability of 4 Striker direct energy mobile short-range air defense. Fucking hell.
Dem Shorad.
By fiscal year 2022.
This is fucking spectacular. Just like, look how fucking amazing this is.
Imagine the amount of
Now,
power.
boy.
Imagine the amount of power you would need to just shoot a laser once, but to be able to shoot it plenty of times.
Fucking 50 kilowatt lasers. This is amazing, right?
We don't even have efficient electric cars, but we're making a laser.
Do you remember your Hunter x Hunter game? I was talking about the batteries on her fucking drone. That's what they need for. It's fucking insane.
These things are spectacular. I'm just like, what are we using these for? I don't know, but they're spectacular. I'm waiting till some like alien race crash lands on Earth, and we're just like, hey, check out our fucking laser cannons on our tanks, and they're like, but like, where's your healthcare? And we're like, healthcare? No. Watch the laser cannons.
No. Imagine this.
No, imagine this instead. You're a fucking you're an infantry soldier, and you're like, go to the fucking battlefield. You've been trained well. You're new, but like you had a couple of years of in the training camp, and you fucking go to the battlefield, and like you see this fucking striker vehicles just appear over the hill, and it aims at your friend, and your friend just fucking melts.
And then it hits a random bystander kid just sleeping in a car.
My God, you're right. There's gonna be so many deaths in Oklahoma. These poor children.
No. But you imagine you take these into the Middle East and start blasting them.
Now hold on, because this article is clearly a crowd favorite. I'm gonna continue. During the shoot-off, the two Striker laser systems will face a series of 12 target vignettes that will increase in difficulty and likely feature a mixture of drones and incoming enemy rockets, artillery, and mortars. These things. So basically, what I'm getting from this is that these things are made to take out air threats, short-range air defense. They take out mortars mid-air.
That's fucking cool, dude.
Do you know, like a mortar?
Actually, if these
shooting.
This isn't going to be like an anti-infantry thing, but it will open the door to more technology. And then eventually we're going to have laser rifles.
All right, but here's the thing, though. I'm very glad. Like this is going to be an amazing thing for Oklahoma. Just I want to be able to watch this. I want this to be a public event that I can go to. But that aside, I'm sort of worried about the destructive capabilities of what's this going to do to the landscape where they tested at. But then I've just come to the realization:
it's not your land anymore.
No matter what happens to the land it's being conducted on, it can't be more destructive than a gender reveal party.
That's also fair.
Well, unless
I would just from the post. The vignettes are important because our intent is to stress the systems to failure. Craig Robin, Deputy Director of the Directed Energy Project Office within the Army Rapid Capabilities and Critical Technologies Office, RCCTO, said. So, we are not assuming they will pass everything. We are purposely creating a series of vignettes with increased complexity for the purpose of them to fail.
I mean, that's a good...
Yeah.
Like, that's a good thing, because, like, you want to see, like, what is the stopping point? How far can we go with this, and how can we improve?
I'm just interpreting this as, we know these fucking striker vehicles won't work, but we just want to shoot some fucking lasers.
It's like when you spar with someone who's, like, a higher rank than you. You know they're going to beat your ass, but you still want to see what you can accomplish.
All right. Ready to move on?
Like, unless this is like some radioactive laser, it won't do too much damage to the environment. I mean, our testing of mortars and shit, and just our way of just removing unused ordnance is way more destructive to the environment than any laser can be.
Well, no, but we're shooting ordnance at the. You realize what mortars are, right?
Well, yeah. I realize those are going to do damage if they either miss or don't completely explode.
Like, I assume they're duds, but still, I'm just saying, you realize what those are.
Yeah.
Anyways. I just wanted to make a gender reveal joke. God, jeez. All right.
I just want to comment on, like, in 1944, we developed the first color TVs. A year later, we're splitting the atom to nuke Japan. Like, just human technology development is beautiful sometimes.
Can you imagine being the fucking person who dropped the nukes in Japan? Just like seeing in front of you,
Guys, guys.
500,000.
This has gone hot on for a couple hours now. We got to speed this up.
Wisconsin prosecutors add curfew charge against Rittenhouse.
Oh God, look at this man.
Rittenhouse, the dude that shot a dude who tried to fucking hit him with a skateboard.
He looks a lot younger than I imagined.
Oh yeah, he's only a teen.
Prosecutors have charged a 17-year-old Illinois teen accused of shooting 3 people during a protest in southeastern Wisconsin this summer with violating curfew that night. Kyle Rittenhouse was charged in August with multiple counts, including reckless and intentional homicide, endangerment, and being a minor in possession of a firearm. The Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel reported that prosecutors added violating curfew the night of the shootings to the list of charges on Monday. The offense is a civil citation, punishable by forfeiture. What?
So, hang on. If he was breaking curfew, what about all those protesters breaking curfew?
Prosecutors allege Rittenhouse, who is white, leftist...
Who is white? Thanks for the clarification.
Antioch?
Antioch? I don't know.
Antioch, Illinois, and traveled to Kenosha, Wisconsin, after learning of a call for militia to protect businesses in that city on August 25th. Kenosha was in the throes of several nights of chaotic street demonstrations after a white officer shot Jacob Blake, who is black, in the black.
In the black. He shot the black off him. Now he's white. That's why they have to clarify.
Disturbance, leaving Blake paralyzed. Shot him right in the Blake. Rittenhouse opened fire with an assault-style rifle during the protest that night, killing Joseph Rosenbaum and Anthony Huber, and wounded Gage Grosskreutz. Rittenhouse has argued he fired in self-defense. Conservatives have rallied around him, generating enough money to make his $2 million cash bail.
Okay, let's stop.
Well, hold on. Like, can we take a second to talk about how they word this, right? Kyle, who is white,
really bad,
travels to this place where a black guy was shot, and he shoots 3 people, who they don't mention are also white.
Yeah, the 3 people who.
Why are they trying to make this a race issue?
The way they wrote this, it sounds like the dude just walked up onto the protesters and started shooting. That's not what happened.
The way they wrote this is they're trying to make this a fucking race issue.
The Journal-Sentinel reported that police arrested about 150 people for curfew violations during the protest. That's the end of the article.
Yeah, they're trying to make this guy demonize this as fucking as much as he can. He didn't just walk up to a crowd and start opening fire. A dude tried to grab his gun and he ended up shooting that dude, and then some other people chased him down because he shot a dude.
A dude who was white, for the record.
Of course.
They're trying to demonize him.
I don't think he really... this doesn't give too much, but it says he argued he fired in self-defense. I can believe it. Fucking protesters are crazy. Protesters are like fucking zombies and like...
I've seen the video. I've seen all of this shit. They're never going to get him on a murder charge because there's too much evidence against it.
So they'll get it. It's a race issue now, even if it shouldn't be. It's a race issue.
Yeah, because he was white.
13.
Rittenhouse, who is white, went to a place where a man who is black was shot.
Correct. Pregnant at 13 and able to attend school. The Tanzania government was taken to court last month over its ban on pregnant schoolgirls and young mothers attending school. It is one of the few countries in the world that actively enforces such a thing.
As they should. As they fucking should.
I didn't know you could get pregnant at 13. What the fuck?
A year ago this month, another court ordered Sierra Leone to drop its ban. So how have things changed in the West African country? Fatou, not her real name,
let Morty talk.
Pregnant.
I would like to say, what they should do is fucking like just force them to abort because that's clearly just like
At
it's gonna
13,
destroy
like, there's no way
lifestyle.
you can, like, properly bear this child.
Yeah, they should just fucking force you to abort it. But like banning the fucking kid is just like they're all like suffering from fucking education issues. Why are you just doing this?
Well, this year, her circumstances have meant leaving school and very possibly being forced into marriage. Instead, she continues to dream of being a nurse one day. In March, Sierra Leone overturned a ban on pregnant girls and young mothers attending school 3 months after the Court of Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, the region's top court ruled that it was discriminatory and violated a child's right to an education.
So instead of fixing their issues with children being raped, they said, no.
Yes.
That issue is fine. We'll leave that on the table. Instead, make the schools change their rules to accept these girls in with them not aborting.
This is humans problem solving at its finest.
I don't think it's a problem that this girl should be allowed to school. I think that's pretty fair.
She should, of course, be allowed to school. She shouldn't be keeping this kid.
But they have a but
She
first
shouldn't
she
have been
shouldn't be
raped.
having it. Yes, I think we can all agree on that.
She was
Blacky.
sexually abused. She was like practically raped.
And that child should not like. There are countries in this world who don't believe in abortion. Fine, I don't care. I do care, but
no,
I
hold
can't
on.
change
She
it.
wasn't
I'm
just she wasn't just going to be forced to not abort. She was going to be very possibly forced into marriage with her sexual abuser. That's what it says right here in this article.
Apparently, something to the ban was started with something to do with Ebola or some shit.
Jesus.
No. The number of girls that had teenage pregnancies spiked during Ebola because the schools closed, so they had more time to be fucked.
Oh yeah.
Anything else anyone wants to say on this?
Absolutely
Morty, you got any
ridiculous.
comments?
Oh, okay. I see. They banned pregnant girls from school because they thought that seeing pregnant girls would encourage them to get pregnant. What the fuck is wrong with this country?
If you've ever the show Teen Moms is an absolute abhorrent show that like fetishizes and glorifies this type of behavior, and it's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. This behavior is disgusting. If there's ever an argument for abortion, it's this specifically. And to see that that's not being offered, and then instead they're just overturning this ban instead of fixing their fucking issue, disgusting.
I was just like to say, there was indeed a time in our history where we had to like get kids like out of wombs as fast as possible and like as early out as possible. But that's not a time. That's not.
It's not the Bronze Age anymore.
Exactly. Not like these people.
Even
like,
cavemen lived to like decently long ages. The issue was like deaths from childbirth and deaths at like when people were infants. That's what killed the fucking like survival rate.
For I'm saying on a biological scale, that's too early. Like 16, 17.
But
Jesus fuck! Can I say something?
Well,
I'm
hurry
saying
up. We've got other.
These fucking cultures have not like exited that fucking mindset. That's what's happening.
Lovely.
Like,
So backwards countries are still fucking backwards, is your statement?
yes.
Homeless man hailed as hero for rushing into a burning animal shelter to save cats and dogs.
What a
homeless
tragedy,
man in
dogs.
A homeless man in Georgia's Atlanta is being hailed as a hero for risking his life to rescue more than a dozen animals from a shelter that had caught on fucking hell.
Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Slow down.
Mike, you don't have to read the whole thing. You can just summarize it. No one's gonna get this far in the video.
You don't have to read the whole thing. Usually when we read these, we don't read the whole thing. We read like maybe the first couple things as we go through, just to get the general idea.
No one's getting this far in the video, so you don't have to have any quality.
Yes. Let's just completely disregard the rest of the article. Hell, let's make it up.
I mean, like the title is pretty self-explanatory.
Okay, after saving the fucking dogs, he got a medal and fucked some bitches.
No, here's the issue though with that, Goma, is we do that with anything regarding Black Lives Matter. It's just going to come off as extremely racist. I want the full fucking
no,
story.
no, and
Look, we're gonna come off racist either way.
like Blacky was
It's just
talking
like-
not too long about how the fucking chinks fucked shit up. We're not avoiding the racism charge here, Coach.
We're on no high horse.
I'm saying it will always come off as bullshit. Like, oh, this white guy killed 53 black people for no reason because we're holding hands and kissing. No, I want the
no,
full
okay,
story.
sorry. So you can like we read aloud the first parts and then we read the rest to ourselves as we're discussing it.
All right. Well,
Like, we don't completely ignore it.
About how this man got to fuck 3 prostitutes because the sheriff paid for
He
it.
fucked 3
I think that's
prostitutes.
You didn't see that part?
Man, what a Chad.
Wait, he fucked some prostitutes? Wait, hold on.
See what I mean? You see what I mean?
I can't believe he did all
What
that. That's
actually
crazy.
Even the firefighters didn't want to handle the dogs. They called animal control, but Keith was already in the building pulling out the cats and dogs until they were all safe.
This is a good story to leave off on. I like to believe
To leave off on, we got two more articles to touch.
This dude was homeless since he was 13. Jesus fucking Christ.
Damn, for 40 years?
That's pretty sad.
That's pretty sad. Wow.
There's one last thing I wanted to talk about before we end this, which is about GoFundMe.
No, we're not. We still have another thing to
We're not
fucking
ending
discuss.
this. We have 2 more articles.
Where are
Why
they?
do we have Oedipus complexes in here? Is something new? Did I miss something about what an Oedipus complex is?
I don't know. Also, here's a picture of the guy
No,
with the
we
dogs.
just want to bring it to our attention. It was requested that we bring this to the attention of the viewers that are insane enough to go this long in the video.
Wait, why don't you read it then, Blacky?
Let me go for it. Since I have food incest as my legacy. It's normal. Every child would find the parent of the opposite sex attractive at a certain age.
No.
Mom, I love you.
Just that no.
No.
Mom, I love you. I want to marry you. Your 3-year-old son says, planting a kiss on your cheek. Your heart melts. Then your husband comes home, and that same endearing little boy launches an angry campaign against him, all the while sweetly holding your hand. Has your son suddenly become a tyrant with a strict personality disorder? Relax. He's still
So stop.
Stop.
Muting him.
So this is the same thing with the gender shit. Your child's 3 years old. Your child doesn't know what the fuck he's doing or
Your
what
child
the
does
fuck
not
he
have
wants.
any attraction to you physically. Your child does not have any attraction to you mentally. Your child loves you
far as he
because
knows,
you
you're-
are his mother, and he has just recently learned about marriage. There is
You are
no
the
fucking
only
proper
person
attraction here.
You are the only person in his life that actually, cares for him and likes him right now at this current time.
There's like, maybe at 16, maybe like, you could say, or hell, even 13, fucking hell. But regardless, it's just, why are you pushing this on children?
Your child does not have an Oedipus complex. Stop using that word improperly. And it is not a
even physical-
normal childhood stage of development. If this thing happens, it's not the Oedipus complex. If it happens later, then it's the Oedipus complex, and it's not normal. And it's very fucking much something you should address and get dealt with.
What they're attributing is the whole a daddy's girl and a mother's boy. That whole thing. That's what they're going over, really. And that's a normal thing, yes.
Yeah.
That is a natural thing that occurs, but it has nothing to do with sexual attraction. It's a matter of what I assume what is hormones, and then just the fact that they are opposite sexes. That's not an attraction at that point. You're 16.
I want to point.
And you're a daughter who wants to bang her father. That's not natural.
Let's go down to recognizing the signs. The three signs of this complex are deep affection for the opposite sex parent, indifference or harsh attitude for the same sex parent, and jealousy or possessive nature.
So it's just a child being a child who likes their mother, who has just learned about the concept of marriage, who knows that their mother is married to their father and is just being jealous. There's no fucking no. Stop this. It's disgusting. Oedipus was not a child. He was a full-grown man who didn't even know either of his parents. Stop doing this disgusting shit and trying to pass it off.
Let's look at the attitude you're supposed to have for a child who has this complex. Love your child unconditionally. Don't criticize, tease, or shame them. If your child crosses the boundary that you feel uncomfortable with, trying to kiss like daddy, divert or redirect his attention. Remember that you are dealing with a young child and know that this is only a phase.
It's not even a phase. It's like a momentary thing. Like they'll be over it the next day.
I would just like to say,
it is not a natural stage. Stop.
So here's the thing. I don't have personal experience with this. Kinda. I have my brother, who's like actively trying to ruin the relationship between my parents. It's because shut up. He basically like sticks to my mother all the time, and basically he has like stopped my dad from fucking having sex for the last fucking 10 years.
What a chance! That's the play right there. He said, "I don't want any younger siblings. I am the youngest siblings now."
He's been like stuck to my mother's side ever since he learned that she basically has the power in the relationship, and he's basically just been building himself up to exist. So he's not like number two in the family.
But that's just a power thing, because your brother's a fucking asshole.
I know. It's not an Oedipus thing, but I'm just saying it's kind of like similar to like because like they describe in this post they describe like possessiveness of the mother, and like it's just a similar thing.
All right.
But he does it because he sees my mother as a resource, not the art of love.
I cannot fathom the motivation for releasing an article like this could be.
The next article is the same thing. Can we just acknowledge that Freud wanted to fuck his mom? That's all I'm getting from this, please.
The article is the same thing. That's the end.
Freud wanted to fuck his mom. Freud had an Oedipus complex. He wanted to fuck his mother. He then tried to push this onto other people.
Ending statements. We're done.
Well, no, Mort's got some stuff.
So it's been recently brought to my attention that like GoFundMe is basically just like okay. So what would you expect from like crowdfunded sites? Like what would you expect from like, to see in that?
Promises. That's what I expect from.
Well, apparently GoFundMe has a reputation of like users go there to like just get funding for like the fucking medical debt that you amassed in the US that you can't fucking afford.
Yeah.
And it's basically like it's basically a fucking popularity contest where if you fucking fail, users get fucking milked by the fucking debt that you now can't pay for.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to say.
The American healthcare system is a joke.
I mean, most healthcare systems are a joke.
Like, literally, hold on. I can if I go to GoFundMe right now, I can top five.
You don't like America die waiting for healthcare.
Top 5 fucking like GoFundMe things are like help a fucking poor boy pay for his fucking cancer treatments.
Yeah.
Some dude like who wanted to take a fucking English exam, like got hit by a car and now he needs fucking.
Oof. He got hit by a car? Damn, that's rough, coach.
He needs to fucking like get paid for his treatment before the day of the exam, so he can like go for it. Treating uterine cancer. Some fucking old woman like needs 4,000 euros to treat uterine cancer. Let's see. Holy shit! It really is just like all fucking.
Poor people don't have money. Water is wet.
Who would have fucking guessed?
The sun will rise tomorrow. Wow, interesting revelations.
Is that what you wanted to go? Because I had something I wanted to address. Did you guys know that when Algerians need money for a doctor, they just die?
You know they don't have doctors in Algeria? Come on.
The Algerian healthcare system is an actual joke, and you can tell because people laugh.
If you need medical assistance in Algeria, they just give you a bomb vest.
All right, I think we're done.
Stay safe, folks.
Stay safe. Have a great New Year.
Don't be a child in a car.
Child, just don't hear gunshots. I wouldn't run because it won't save
Just
you.
cease to exist for a moment. You might be saved. Holy fucking shit. Alright. Bye-bye, everyone. Have a terrible day.
yeah.